SteepleCats Network as we get set for Game 2 of a doubleheader between the Keene SwampBats and the North Adams SteepleCats. Adam, the SwampBats beat the SteepleCats in Game 1, 9-4.
Yeah, one of the best offensive performances, if not the best all season so far for the SwampBats. And it was throughout the entire game, not just one big inning. It was 4 runs in the second, 3 in the third, added on some more in the sixth. And they got runners on in each of the other innings. Not a single 1, 2, 3 inning with 3 outs in a row.
Yeah, season high 12 hits for the SwampBats. And they only batted 6 times. Really encouraging offensive performance for Keene. So with the win, they come in now at 7-15 for Game 2. So the SteepleCats are 5-15. It's time for the national anthem. We'll step aside for it. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. Field, Shona White, Adam Jotkin with you as we get set for Game 2 of a doubleheader between the Keene SwampBats and the North Adams SteepleCats. Like Game 1, this will be a 7-inning tilt, and North Adams will be the home team officially for this game because it's a reschedule of a rainout that was supposed to be played at Joe Wolf Fields in North Adams earlier this season. Got a nice ceremonial first pitch out there, caught by Devin Taylor. And the SteepleCats will escape the field as the home team here at Alumni Field. Always funny when that happens. The SwampBats had a home game in Martha's Vineyard on Thursday. The SteepleCats have a quote-unquote home game here at Alumni Field right now. Again, it'll be 7 innings in length. And now it's time to take you through
yeah, it's going from switcher, and then we have some lean out going directly into
with
the switcher.
Visiting team here at home, the Keene SwampBats. They are 7-15. Sean McKenna. And they will lead off with the shortstop, Jake Mumoff. Devin Taylor is the DH batting second. Braden Ford, the left-hand batting first baseman, is third. Smith, who hit a home run and was robbed of another in Game 1, bats fourth and center. Matt Brown, Erie, the right fielder, hits fifth. Jackson Owen is the catcher, batting sixth. Evan Goforth had a 3-hit game in the first game. He is at third base batting seventh. Tony Livermore continues to swing a hot bat. He's in left field batting eighth. And Brian Padilla is the second baseman batting number 9 for starting pitcher, righty from Dayton, Will Newell. Adam?
It'll be Kyle Hannon, the NECBL player of the week, who leads off and plays first base, batting second to designated hitter Sam Tackett. Moving over 3 spots, the right fielder Jake Trinan, batting fourth, the catcher batting fifth is the second baseman Aiden Stewart. Behind him, the top bat in the last game, the left fielder Gunnar Johnson. Batting seventh, the center fielder Chad Bourne. Batting eighth is the shortstop Jack Reynolds, and batting ninth is the third baseman Nathan Lincoln. Nick Ferretti gets the start. This is first start of the summer ball season. Started 4 games this past year at Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, Nick Ferretti, the season so far.
He has appeared appeared in 4 games, gone just 5 innings.
Yeah, for Reddick, 7 hits, 7 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks. Jordan Smith.
Reynolds just so clean in the field. Makes a big play there. And the difference of Jordan Smith, who is hitting 167 on the season coming into this game, and a solo home run in the 3rd inning of the first game of our doubleheader.
Here's Jordan Smith. Nearly had a 2-homer game in the opener, and he takes outside for Ferritic, ball 1. SwampBats looking to bounce back today after a tough doubleheader in Vermont on Saturday, and so far so good on Independence Eve. Smith fouls one away to the right, and it's 1-1 strike. That reminds me, Adam, you're a Mets fan, if mistaken.
No, Nationals.
I am mistaken. Ooh, Nationals. So many other broadcasters in the NECBL this year, Mets fans. I lose track. But, well, anyway, as a Nationals fan, I can still tell you that the 1-1 pitch is fouled back, and it's 1-2. I was very disappointed with myself. On Monday, I totally forgot we were off the air. It was Bobby Bonilla Day. I wanted to correct that today. And even as a Nationals fan, I wish you happy Bobby Bonilla Day. 2 days late.
I can wish misery on the Mets all the time. Dang a guy still. 20 years after he last played.
Here's a 1-2. It is drilled foul toward left field down the line. 1 ball, 2 strikes, still on Jordan Smith. Well, it's about the one thing the Mets have going for them this season. They're still above the Nationals.
It's building time.
Yeah.
NECBL alumni
I have
Josiah
the,
Gray, the
I have the
all-star for the Nats
administrator
this
set up
year.
to
He's a
the left,
budding
but
star and a couple
It
of
wasn't
Here's the 1-2
working
pitch.
when I got it set up.
Taken high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'll push it. I'll show you.
The SwampBats center fielder from George Mason. Veritage from the first base side of the rubber. Leans back, goes into the full windup. The 2-2 to Smith. Taken inside. 3-2. Smith has a lot of speed. Can steal a bag or two if he can get on here. Now the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. SwampBats got a complete game in the first game from Dylan King. So their bullpen is fresh for the nightcap. 3-2. Breaking ball fouled over the grandstand into the Swamp first base side. And it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. The SteepleCats got decent length from, well, not really. They got 2 1/3 innings from their starter, Dom Marcosio. Tornado was one they got decent length from out of the bullpen, 2 2/3. They only had to use 3 pitchers, so they're still in decent shape for Game 2 bullpen-wise. This one as good as the SwampBats. 3-2. Count back. Count on Smith.
That was a big credit to know that now he has got a fastball that touched 93, even though he's got 5-10 on the green.
Carvo Hearing Center is proud to offer personal
is getting ready to make his first start of the season. Will, 6'6", 240, junior at Pasco Hernando State at Florida for Tallahassee, Florida. Committed a couple of weeks ago to play next year, though, with the Dayton Flyers in Ohio. Making his first start of the season. He's earned the start because of his work out of the bullpen. 11 and a third innings and 6 relief appearances. 13 hits, 9 runs, but only 5 of them earned. 5 walks and 11 strikeouts. 0-1 with an ERA of 3.97. He's already staked to a 2-0 lead. He'll face Kyle Hannon, Sam Tackett, and Jake Reinisch in the bottom of the first. Hannon, the left-hand batter, takes a strike, 0-1.
It'll be interesting to see how Newell fares in this. Didn't start any games this past JUCO season, so it's been a while since he's been an opener.
Full wind-up, the 0-1. Foul back at 90 miles an hour, and it's 0-2.
Well, as far as I can see, didn't start any games at Lipscomb either his freshman year before he transferred there, so it's probably been since high school the last time he was an opener.
Working from the center of the rubber, winds up the 0-2. Swung got crowded to the left side. Mumaw up with it, the shortstop. Guns to first, 1 out.
That's a good start there. You get it under your belt, get that first out, retire Kyle Hannon, the NECBL Player of the Week. And any nerves that you may have had for starting a game are now gone.
And now the batter is the DH, Sam Tackett, the home run leader this season in the NECBL, but he's now got some competition from a couple of SwampBats. As he takes out the outside corner, 0-1. Tackett's got 6. Blake Delamelier and Devin Taylor now have 4 for Keene.
I believe Bobby Smarslak of Danbury's got 4 too, so a couple pretty close to Tackett. Struggled in the first game of the doubleheader, 0 for 3.
0-1 pitch. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Newell, another arm who goes 90 with the fastball. I think every single pitcher that we've seen so far today sits in the 90s with their heater.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul back, and it's 1-2. Another reason it was so big for Dylan King to give the SwampBats all 7 innings at the start. Saving the bullpen, not just for today, but the SwampBats don't have another off day until next Sunday. So Keene is in good shape behind Will Newell for game 2 because of what King did. Delayed winds up, the 1-2 pitch, outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Can't do that with runners on base, what Newell just did. Just kind of stopped halfway through his windup. There's the same thing here, 2-2. Is drilled toward the gap in left center field. This could be trouble. It's going to get down in the gap and roll to the wall. Approaching second base is Sam Tackett as Smith gets it into the infield. He's aboard with a 1-out double.
We talk about the home runs for Tackett, but what makes him even more dangerous is that speed as well. Now, that's a double either way, but puts him in scoring position, and now just a base hit would not tie this game, but cut the lead in half. And for Tackett, that's his 4th double and 10th extra base hit of the season.
Batter now from Wake Forest, Jake Reinisch, the right fielder for North Adams, coming to them late this season because Wake Forest made it all the way to the College World Series final weekend. That is going to miss outside. 1 and no strike. Demon Deacons were the #1 overall seed heading into the tournament, but were bounced in the semifinal by LSU.
It's been a good start here in the NECBL for Reinisch. 4 RBIs in just 4 games.
Newell working out of the stretch now from the belts. Looks at the runner, deals 1-0. Popped up behind home plate, foul out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think Reinisch knew right after he swung that pitch was out of the zone. Said to the home plate umpire, was that outside? Home plate umpire confirmed, so he's going to wish that he took that instead of fouling it off.
Could be ahead 2-0. Will Newell wants to do baseball. He'll be obliged by the home plate up out Little Bardoni. SwampBats defense for Game 2 looks different than it did in Game 1. Jackson Owen is the new catcher. Braden Horton is the new first baseman. Brian Padilla is in at second base. Left side of the infield is the same, with Jake Moomaw at shortstop and Evan Goforth at third base. And the outfield looks a bit different in the corners as well. The 1-1 outside, 2 balls and a strike. Tony Livermore is in left field as they keep his hot bat in the lineup. Matt Brown-Earing moves to right field with Devin Taylor DHing, and Jordan Smith, the excellent defensive center fielder, remains there.
Tackett very active at second, just trying to get into the head of the pitcher.
2-1 from Newell. Up and away, 3 balls and 1 strike. Cleanup batter, Hudson Polk, the catcher, is due on deck for the SteepleCats. Reinisch, a left-hand hitter. Trying to get a pitch to hit on 3-1. Here it comes. Up and away, ball 4. First walk allowed by Newell. First and second with 1 out, and the batter is Polk.
Of course, this is the second day of the doubleheader, and this is just the second inning that the SteepleCats have had 2 runners on at the same time. So already positive for the Cats, and now a guy to the plate who didn't see any action in the first game in Hudson Polk.
Polk, the catcher for Game 2. Where's number 13, a right-hand hitter with a square stance. He's got Tackett aboard at second base and Reinisch aboard at first base with 1 out. Bottom of the first, it's 2-0 SwampBats. Hard ground ball to the left side. Moomaw field shovels to Padilla. 1 on to first, double play. 6-4 to 3 off the bat of Hudson Polk. And the SwampBats and Will Newell get out of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On to the second, it's 2-0 SwampBats. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
Inning, he's down 2-0 as he goes back to work for the second inning of play. They'll face the bottom third of the SwampBats batting order. Go forth Livermore and Padilla. 7, 8, 9 got the job done, scoring 5 runs and netting 7 base hits in game 1 of this doubleheader. So it might not be a bad thing that it's the bottom of the order coming up for the SwampBats against Nick Furidic out of Fairleigh Dickinson University in the great state of New Jersey.
Of course, had that big run in the NCAA tournament this year.
Oh, that's right. Fairleigh Dickinson certainly had their moment in the sun.
You always see when that happens that schools will get crazy boosts in applications after that. I remember when UMBC did it, it was impossible to get a tour of the campus because so many people were trying to apply after they won as a 16 seed.
Here's Evan Goforth, and he smacks one. Snagged by the shortstop. Reynolds on a hop. He throws wide of the first base bag, and the swipe tag applied by Kyle Hannon. 1 out. Goforth and Casey O'Brien both asking the question about the swipe tag. And they're going to ask the first base umpire, Sam Finn, to ask for help from his colleague, Alan Libardoni. I wouldn't be shocked if they reverse this call. Goforth is staying at first base.
Yeah, that was not an easy play for Reynolds at short. I thought that he got the tag down. The other question is did he jump out of the baseline when he tried to avoid the tag? I think he stayed close enough. I don't think that would be an issue at all.
You get 3 feet on either side, so I think he should be fine in that regard.
Yeah, I don't think that would be an issue.
Oftentimes the home plate umpire, though, has a better view of that swipe tag, so they can do what they're doing now, which is check in conference with each other, see if anybody else saw anything different. He's out.
It was close. I thought that Hannon just barely got that tag down.
Casey O'Brien and Evan Goforth shaking their heads, but 1 out on a nice play by the shortstop, Jack Reynolds.
Even if you know it, though, you always argue that. You always try and just get the home plate umpire to call it safe, even if it wasn't. Can't hurt to ask.
Here's Tony Livermore, left-hand batter. Furidic winds, it deals. It's out and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 2-0 SwampBats, 1 out top of the second inning here in Keene. The SwampBats batting as the designated road team in a 7-inning game 2 of this doubleheader. That's inside, 2 balls, no strikes on Tony Livermore. Yeah, Fairleigh Dickinson, they beat, was it Kansas in the first round? Purdue, that's right.
Yes, Purdue.
The 2-0 pitch in for a strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-1. The second 16th seed ever to pull off the 16-1 upset in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. A 2-1 pitch. Back foot slider in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike.
I'll tell you what, the NCAA basketball tournament is always one that gets, so much. Of course, it's March Madness. May and June Madness with the baseball tournament this year was just as crazy. You don't have that 16-1 upset because of the regions, but still awesome.
Bounced up the first baseline. The mitt of Furidic snags it, and he will go to first himself and retire Livermore. 1 unassisted. That brings up Ryan Padilla with 2 outs and nobody on.
Good 2 quick outs there for Furidic after giving up the home run at the start of the top of the first inning, just able to bounce back and maybe calm down a little bit.
So here's Padilla making his first start today. Second baseman from UConn. First pitch to him is down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Absolutely, the College World Series has got a lot more attention in recent years, certainly this year, with LSU winning it. Swing and a miss there by Brian Padilla, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Women's College World Series 2 is also a fun tournament. It's all over the place.
A wind up with a 1-1, foul back by Brian Padilla, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Deep breath from Furidic, the 1-2. Low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the second inning, 2-0 SwampBats. So they look to win consecutive games for the first time since the early days of the season. 2-2 pitch. Hit the dirt, 3-2. Second straight 3-ball count from Furidic, and with a potentially thin bullpen for North Adams. It's a bit concerning for the SteepleCats that Ferretic is about to throw his 40th pitch here in the second inning. On the way, outside, ball 4, 2-out walk for Padilla, the second walk allowed by Ferretic.
Definitely a little bit concerning. However, I will say this, the SteepleCats have had an insane amount of days off, rainouts in the last week or so, so I think that bullpen will be just okay. And also, Dan Rudden, the pitching coach, has done a really good job of managing his pitchers. He only had, coming into this game, one reliever who wasn't eligible to pitch via the pitch count.
Move on now, the battery singled and scored on Taylor's home run in the first inning. Takes in the dirt, 1 ball and no strike. Other issue for the SteepleCats is not just this game, but if I'm not mistaken, Adam, they play tomorrow and play another doubleheader in Bristol on Wednesday.
Yeah, game tomorrow, doubleheader on Wednesday, and then they do have Thursday off.
So they're going to want to keep that in mind for the next couple of days. The 1-0, popped up, foul behind home plate. Polk looks, and it's well out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. SwampBat fans, remember that today's planned fireworks show for Independence Eve has been postponed. July 28th will now feature fireworks. That'll be a Friday night. And so certainly mark your calendars for that one. Strike called at the D's, just below the D's. Mumon not sure, but it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Even though no fireworks, grandstand on the first base side pretty much completely full. Good amount of fans on the third base grandstand.
SwampBats certainly have some good support behind them today. 1-2 pitch to Mumaw. Runner goes, it's high. The throw down to second base is not in time. It was to the third base side of the second base bag from Hudson Polk. That's what made the difference, allowing Padilla to get in there safely with a head-first dive.
That was a heck of an effort, though, from Jack Reynolds at short to even get a chance to get that tag down.
He spun around.
Yeah, spun around after making the catch on the third base side, and it was a pretty decent throw from Hudson Polk. Had a ton of velocity on it. Wasn't put in the perfect spot.
Good pitch to throw on, fastball high. Now it's 2-2 on Mumaw. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on to miss strike 3. Well out in front of a back foot slider. And that retires the side. It's the third strikeout for Ferretic. And the second for the SwampBats. No runs, no hits, no errors, a man left. We go to the bottom half of inning number 2. It's the SwampBats with a 2-0 lead. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
At Keene State College, life is an adventure. You'll forge your path forward. As an owl, you'll take on challenges in the classroom, field, court, or track. Every worthwhile adventure has its share of blood, sweat, and tears. It takes hard work and dedication. No owl flies alone on their journey at Keene State. Teammates, coaches, professors, alumni, and fellow owls are with you along the way. They lift you up as you continue forward. When you're part of Owl Nation, you become the person you truly want to be.
He'll face Aiden Stewart, Gunnar Johnson, and Chad Bourne. For the SteepleCats, Stewart the second baseman, Johnson the left fielder, and Chad Bourne the center fielder. It's 5, 6, and 7. And the North Adams batting order.
Let's see what this order can do, because the offense didn't do enough when they got production in the first game. It was too little, too late, and down 1-0 early. Can the offense get back to where it was just a couple of games ago when the Cats won 4 in a row?
Stewart, a left-hand hitter, takes ball 1 down low with a check swing. 1 ball and no strikes. It's 2-0 SwampBats. We're at the bottom of the second inning. They appealed the swing late. Don Goller says he did not go, so it is a 1 ball, no strike count on Stewart. who fouls the next down to the first base side. And our camera guy over there makes a nice play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Two.
1-1. Pulled on the ground foul toward the right field bleachers. And a nice play made by a youngster. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You got to be on your feet, especially down the right field line. No fencing here
Sure
at
do.
Alumni Field.
Newell shakes off the catcher Owen. Now he's ready. 1-2.
Good.
Fastball high at 90 miles an hour. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 2-2 to Stewart. Inside. Just missed with a fastball, and it's 3-2.
Good take.
Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Monday night, Independence Eve at the NECBL. First, the 3-2 to Stewart. Foul back, and it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th in Sanford, the North Shore Navigators have a 5-4 lead over the SwampBats division rival Sanford Mainers. Bottom of the 4th in Upper Valley, Intra-Division North matchup between Vermont and the Nighthawks. That pitch is upstairs, ball 4. Stewart aboard with leadoff walk. Good at bat by Aiden Stewart, and that'll bring up Gunnar Johnson, who had 2 extra base hits and 3 runs batted in game 1. 4-0 Nighthawks to the bottom of the 4th against the Mountaineers. The Danbury Westerners, who the SwampBats will play for the first time this season tomorrow, are tied at 0 with the Valley Blue Sox. Bottom of the 2nd in Holyoke. Pitch. On the ground through the left side, base hit. Stopping at second is Stewart. Johnson aboard, 2 on, nobody out for the SteepleCats to the bottom of the 2nd.
How about Gunnar Johnson here? Came into today with just 4 hits all season long, batting under 100. Now, in 2 games of the doubleheader, in 9 innings, he has a home run, a double, and now a single on top of that.
So Chad Bourne will be the batter. The game between the Martha's Vineyard Sharks and the Newport Gulls that was supposed to be played tonight in Newport was postponed. The Mystic Schooners beat the Ocean State Waves earlier today in a day game, 5-2. The pitch, fouled at the plate, no balls at a strike.
Bourne hitting just 133. Takes a lot of guys just some time to get used to playing with the wood bat. Bourne's someone who hit in the 290s at Coastal Carolina this year. You know he has the talent to get there eventually. You just think it takes some time.
2-0 SwampBats, but 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning for North Adams. 0-1, the count on Chad Bourne. Newell hunches over, holds the ball between his legs. Now comes set at the belts. 0-1 pitch. Fastball high, 1-1. Zephyr is the official on-field cap of the NECBL, also known as the Z-Hats. Zephyr is the authentic college hat with over 800 colleges and channels the same energy and creativity into building custom hats of all types for pro sports teams, clothing brands, and companies everywhere. The 1-1. Breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Smith over to his left, makes the running catch. Trying to tag from second base is Stewart. The throw goes to third, and it's offline. Getting there safely is Stewart, advancing on the fly out from Bourne. Smith has a good arm there. Made a strong throw, just a little offline down the third baseline. 1 out, runners at the corners. Make sure you pick up your SwampBats official outfield cap today.
Yeah, if that throw's online, Stewart's out, and what he did is, which he probably should not have done, is the second that was caught, he took off and then looked back towards center field. If I'm him, you trust your third base coach, and if he says go back, you go back, or you just got to look straight and go in a dead spring, because when you look back over your shoulder, you slow down a little bit.
First and third, 1 out for the shortstop, Jack Reynolds. First pitch, outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That's Ryan Abel, the manager for the SteepleCats. Colin Scott is their first base coach, one of the assistants. 1-0 the count on Jack Reynolds. Newell ready. The 1-0. Off the plate away, 2 balls and no strikes. The 9 hitters coming up. The only open base here is second. And a 2-0 count on Jack Reynolds. Newell could use another double play ball like the one he got in the first inning. A look over at first. The set. 2-0 pitch. On the ground, foul up the first baseline. 2 balls and a strike.
Pretty good swing there from Reynolds on the 2-0 pitch. Just tried to get it down the first base line, pulled it a little bit, was out in front of the swing.
Bottom of the second, 2 on, 1 out for the SteepleCats. Runners at first and third. SwampBats have a 2-0 lead in a 7-inning ball game. Newell staring in, looking at first where it's Gunnar Johnson running for North Adams. 2-1. Fastball tipped into the mid of Jackson Owen, who got up to threaten a snap throw, but holds on to it. It's 2-2.
Johnson took a couple steps towards second just to try and force a throw from the catcher, Owen. I don't think Johnson's ever going to be a threat to steal bags. Usually a catcher. He is in left field today, though.
I think that might give him some more encouragement now that he's an outfielder.
Good.
A lob over to first base. Back standing is Gunnar Johnson. Count still 2-2 on Jack Reynolds, the left-hand batting shortstop. 2-2 is lined into right center, a gap base hit. Scoring from third is Stewart. Around second is Johnson. He'll be stopped at third. It's played in quickly by the right fielder, Matt Brown Earring. And holding on at first with an RBI single is Jack Reynolds. It's a 2-1 game, and still first and third, 1 out in the bottom of the second for North Adams.
Yeah, and offensively today for the SteepleCats, guys who usually aren't big contributors are the ones getting it done. Of course, can't stop talking about Gunnar Johnson and what he's done, but Jack Reynolds, just 2 RBIs coming into this game. He's a guy who's almost an everyday starter. Gets his 3rd RBI there on what probably would have been a double in almost any other park in this league towards right center.
So still first and third, 1 out, but now a 2-1 score. The 9 hitter comes up, Nate Lincoln, the third baseman. He takes a fastball high, 1-0.
And how about your number 9 hitter being a .333 hitter in 15 starts? It's your true, kind of second leadoff hitter is what they can call the 9 spot sometimes. And he is a dangerous, dangerous bat in the bottom of the order today for the SteepleCats.
Hunter Cooley has gone out to talk with Will Newell, the SwampBats pitching coach, as Tyler Tornberg warms up in the right field bullpen. 2-1 SwampBats, but that lead is in jeopardy with North Adams having runners at the corners with 1 out in the second inning.
It'd be big if the Cats could just get some runs back here early on. You don't want to put yourself in a spot where 6th, 7th inning you have to score to tie the game. You want to get this close, get this even now.
So here is Nathan Lincoln, getting ready for a 1-0 pitch with Johnson the runner at third, Reynolds the runner at first, it's just 1 man out. Newell sets. 1-0 pitch. Fastball tipped into the catcher's mitt, 1-1. 90 miles an hour there from Newell. He's right around 89, 91 with a fastball. A big right-hander who's committed to Dayton next year.
Issue, I think, with the dirt on the first base side. Jack Reynolds, the runner, just kicking it all around, trying to fix the infield a little bit.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike. Good pitch just above the knees. It's 1-2.
Well, baby, do a job here with 1.
Newell trying to preserve the lead in the bottom of the second inning. A look over at first. Ready? 1-2 pitch. Fastball away, runner going. The throw down to second is in time. They got him! strike 3 on the pitch. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play for the SwampBats to get out of the inning. 90-mile-an-hour fastball that was in there for strike 3. And the SwampBats get out of it with no further damage. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. The SwampBats lead it 2-1 as we go to the 3rd inning. This is in Keene. It's a 2-1 lead for the Keene SwampBats, who just got a strike 'em out, throw 'em out double play to maintain the lead with runners at 1st and 3rd in the bottom of the 2nd. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Devin Taylor, Braden Horton, and Jordan Smith for the SwampBats in the visiting 3rd. Adam?
Well, thank you very much, Jonah. Devin Taylor to lead things off, as you said, hit the 2-run home run back in the top of the 1st. That's the difference in this game. 1-run lead for the SwampBats as a soft hit ball towards right center field. That drops for a base hit just over the head of Aiden Stewart. And it's a leadoff single for Devin Taylor, who's now 2 for 2 in this game.
He got jammed there, but when you're as strong as Devin Taylor, you don't need great contact to just push one over the second baseman's head for a base hit.
So the leadoff man on for the 2nd of 3rd innings for the Bats, and that brings up Braden Horton, who lined out to short his first time up. 3 strikeouts so far for Reddick. As that pitch a off speed at the knees, called strike, and it's 0-1. Horton hitting 200 coming into this game. The lefty with a bit of an open stance sees the 0-1, fouls it straight back on a fastball. And just like that, Reddick ahead 0-2. 2-1 the lead for the SwampBats here in the top of the 3rd. It's even at 3. Reddick has struggled to get out of innings quickly. SwampBats have stranded just 1 runner on in each of the first 2 innings.
He's at 48 pitches here with nobody out in the 3rd.
Pickoff attempt, but back easily is Taylor. 6 came to the plate in the 1st, 4 in the 2nd for the SwampBats. The kick and the pitch is fouled off the leg of Horton, and that's got to hurt right off the shin.
Hope that Braden's all right. Can't be pleasant.
But umpire Alan Libertoni is going to give him a second to try and walk that off. That's why you see players wear those shin guards. It was right off the right leg, which, as the left-handed hitter is his lead leg, doesn't wear any shin guards. However,
here's
looks
my
like
question.
Actually he has a tiny one on, but it's one of the smaller shin guards I've ever seen.
My question, why is Casey O'Brien wearing a shin guard, the first base coach? What does he have to worry about?
I think that's probably Devin Taylor. Sometimes you'll see the first base coach. You also see he has the elbow guard on.
It's yeah, that's what it is. You're right. It's the red Indiana Hoosiers shin guard.
Horton actually does have one on, but very tiny. Still stings even when it hits. The 0-2 pitch is up and away on a fastball, and it's 1-2. Whenever there's a long inning, you'll see first base coaches with just like 30 different equipment items on them. They got both legs full, the arms full, all the way up and down as the 1-2 runner going, swing and a miss, throw to second is in time. The tag is applied. And it's a strike him out, throw him out, our second in as many innings. And just like that, we've got 2 gone.
How about that? Another strike him out, throw him out, double play.
That's now 4 strikeouts for Nick Ferretic.
2-6 on the caught stealing as Reynolds, the shortstop, laid down the tag.
And so that brings up Jordan Smith now. Walked and then was stranded at first. Back in the first inning as the first pitch from Ferretic up and away on the fastball. 1-0. 2-1 SwampBats lead the SteepleCats here in the top of the third. Adam Gotkin and Jonah White with you from Alumni Field as that pitch found straight back. Polk will watch it fly over the fencing. Great turnout today. Number of fans in the grandstands on the first and third base side and down the lines. Got some kids playing catch down the right field line in the open area just behind the SwampBats bullpen.
Sky looking a little bit more concerning now.
1-1 pitch fouled back off the catcher Polk and the umpire Liberdoni. That got a piece of everyone, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, both catcher and umpire going to try to walk that one off. Still a 1-2 count on Jordan Smith.
Ferretic looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Even though it started with the leadoff single from Taylor, Polk then threw him out. The right-hander end of the line. The kick and the pitch, and it's fouled back. Smith just got a piece of it. It was a really nice-looking pitch from Ferretic, and the catcher Polk pointed at him saying that was a good one, but Smith fought it away.
A couple of nice at-bats for Smith, who walked his first time up.
The kick and the 1-2 is rocketed high in the air towards right field. Reinich back in front of the warning track. He looks up and he makes the catch for out number 3. And so the SwampBats go down 1-2-3, but still lead 2-1 after the top of the third. You're listening to Pure Oldies 104.1 and watching the NECBL network.
At the Keene Housing.
Your next Ford is waiting at Monadnock Ford. Right now, get a great offer like this on your next new Ford. See these offers and more at monadnockford.com. Monadnock Ford, home of the low price tire guarantee and your local Ford and used car retailer. Voted Keene's best.
Network. Adam Gotkin and Jonah White with you. Will Newell back onto the mound for his third inning of work and struggled a little bit his last time out. Got into a jam with runners on the corners, but they strike him out, throw him out. Got a double play to end the inning. Brings up the top of the order and Kyle Hannon, who grounded out to third to lead off the bottom of the first. The big right-hander comes into the wind and deals the first pitch to the left-handed hitting Hannon, who takes a half swing was in the zone either way, so the count 0-1. Hannon from Penn State was with the SteepleCats last summer, as the 0-1 is skied towards shallow center field as the shortstop Muma racing back, but the center fielder Smith will make the catch over his head for out number 1. Brings up the designated hitter Sam Tackett, who hit a double into left center field his first time to the plate. Tackett leads the league in home runs with 6, also now has 4 doubles. Scored 19 runs and has 16 RBIs. Real incredible number as that pitch in for a strike, 0-1. The designated hitter for both games of this doubleheader. By the way, that's 19 runs, 16 RBIs, and now 20 games played. This is the 21st of the season for the Cats, as a big swing and a miss on the off speed, and the count 0-2. Infield, outfield, straight up to the right-handed hitting Tackett out of Virginia Tech, native of Lexington, Kentucky. Sees the 0-2 and pops it up towards right field in no man's land. The second baseman Padilla will traverse over to make the grab for out number 2. So that brings up the number 3 hitter now, Jake Reinisch, who walked and then was out at second in a double play to end the first inning. Will Newell working fast. Reinisch asks for a few seconds to kick some of the dirt out in the batter's box. Newell comes into the wind and deals. And a swing and a miss. Reinisch way ahead of it, the count 0-1. The lovely folks here in Keene did a little bit of field work in between games in the doubleheader, but Alumni Field has definitely seen better days. Field was not dragged in between games as the 0-1 up and in. Watch out.
Shin music.
Reinisch backs out of the way and ends up falling onto his behind at the end of the play as that one almost hit him. Count 1-1. Long look in from Newell. Right-hander deals. And that inside again. Just about grazed the jersey of Reinisch. That far inside. Count 2-1. SteepleCats in the alternate yellow jerseys. SwampBats in their purples. Very colorful affair as the pitch low and inside. And it's 3-1 to Reinisch. Both teams wearing white pants. Straight white, though, for the SteepleCats. Purple stripes on the sides for the SwampBats. Newell into the wind. The kick in the 3-1. Up and in again. Watch out, Jake, as that is going to be ball number 4. And Reinisch will jog on to first base at the third walk that Newell has given up so far here in 3 innings. And it brings up Hudson Polk, who grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his last time up. Polk wasn't yet with the team when these teams first met at Alumni Field, so this the catcher out of Arkansas's first time playing in New Hampshire. As the first pitch from the stretch is swung on and missed, and Polk's elbow guard fell off in the midst of the swing. The count 0-1. That guard on that left elbow of Polk. No arm sleeve on the left arm, but does have a black arm sleeve on his right. Sports white batting gloves as another swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Polk wearing his bright red Arkansas helmet. Split time with the Razorbacks this past season after transferring there from Oklahoma. Native of Texas. Sees the 0-2. And that inside, oh, that hit Polk right on the hands. Oh, that's got to hurt right on the fingers, and Polk down to one knee, grimacing in pain. That hit him on the left wrist area. And
90-mile-an-hour fastball from Newell.
And he's going to see now care from his first base coach, Colin Scott, and the third base coach and manager, Ryan Abel, but Polk now walking towards the first base.
SwampBats athletic trainer went out to see if he wanted some more evaluation, but it looks like he's all right to continue, which is obviously good to see.
Polk as tough as it gets. Looks like he's going to be just okay. Like a little bit lucky that hit him. Kind of looked like right in between the knuckles and the wrists is where he was holding. Any lower, you're getting towards the finger territory where it's really dangerous. Any higher up towards that wrist, which you never want to hit. I hope that he's all okay to be catching, as that brings Aiden Stewart to the plate. Walked and scored the lone run so far for the SteepleCats, who trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the third, and Stewart hits that one pretty hard to second. Easy play, though, for Padilla. Throw to first is in time, and the SteepleCats strand runners on first and second. They've stranded on 4 through 3 innings, and the Cats trail the Bats 2-1 here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake. Woo! Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake.
In the top of the fourth.
And it will be Nick Freddick back on the mound now for his 4th inning of work. Due up for the SwampBats is the middle of the order. That's 5, 6, 7, and Matt Brown airing, Jackson Owen, and Evan Goforth. It was the middle and bottom of the order that really got things done for the SwampBats in the first game of the doubleheader. To start things off in the second and third innings, 7-8-9 went 6 for 6 and scored 5 runs. Later on, bottom of the order struggled a little bit more, but that was all that the SwampBats needed as the SteepleCats scored just 4. Reddick all done with his warm-up pitches before we start the fourth. Again, Matt Brown earring to lead off. He struck out swinging his first time up. One of, so far, 4 strikeout victims for Reddick, who's making his first start of the season. Pitched just 5 innings and 4 appearances so far, as the first pitch to Brown airing in for a strike on the outside part of the plate in the count 0-1. Reddick, long look in, the wind, kicking the pitch, and that ball rocketed just over the leaping third baseman Lincoln's head and into left field. And so it's a leadoff single for Matt Brown earring. And for the 3rd time today, the SwampBats have their leadoff man on. Brings up Jackson Owen now, the catcher who struck out swinging 10, the top of the first. Owen, a right-handed hitter, straight up batting stance. Wearing his purple Bruce Bolt batting gloves. And a shin guard on the left lead leg. First pitch from the right-hander Reddick, a fastball upstairs, 1-0. Decent-sized lead at first for Brown earring, the right fielder. As Reddick deals, and a swing and a miss from Owen, moves the count to 1-1. 2-1 your score here in the top of the 4th inning. Thank you all for tuning in here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network. Those of you just joining us, the SwampBats scored both their runs in the second as that rocketed down the third base line, and it's a fair ball. And that's a single for Jackson Owen as the left fielder Gunnar Johnson got there in time. Brown Aaron will stop at second. So runners on first and second here for Evan Goforth. Back to what I was saying, back in the top of the first inning, there was a Devin Taylor 2-run home run with no outs. Taylor, the number 2 hitter, I got this scoring underway, and it's been the difference so far. SteepleCats scored 1 in the bottom of the second. That was Aiden Stewart, the second baseman, who crossed on a Jack Reynolds RBI single. SwampBats, though, open for some insurance runs. First pitch to Goforth is in the dirt. Nice block, though, from Hudson Polk to keep the ball in front of him and keep the runners where they are, and the count 1-0. 4 RBIs this season for Goforth. 3 of those coming in game 1 of this doubleheader. An RBI single in the second and a 2 RBI single in the third. 1-0 is fouled off over the first base grandstand, which is pretty much packed to the brim with fans, and the count 1-1. I'd expect this crowd at least over 1,000 for game 2 of our doubleheader. Game 1 was 950. This feels like at least probably close to 1,500, if not more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good crowd on this Monday night, even without the fireworks.
Bunch shown, pulled back, and that's outside, so the count 2-1. For you SteepleCats fans tuning in, fireworks still on. Weather looks like it should be good tomorrow night when the Cats host the Sanford Mainers. With the North Adams City fireworks taking place afterwards at Joe Bull Field. Make sure to come out if you can. I'll be there. 2-1 pitch at the knees on a fastball, called strike. And it's 2-2.
SwampBats will be in Danbury tomorrow to take on the Westerners for the first time this season on the 4th of July.
It's interesting how the scheduling works. Back-to-back North Division opponents for the SteepleCats and back-to-back West Division opponents for the SwampBats.
Well, the nice thing about the schedule,
that pitch misses low, moves this ball to 3-2.
or at least something I think is pretty cool, is that in the final week it's all division play. So a lot of the interdivisional games happening now in the middle of the season because it's all in division and the stretch run toward the end of July.
Reddick sets the kick and the pitch, and that bounce towards first base. Hannon will take it and step on the bag for out number 1, but both runners advance. That's Brown Aaron to third and Owen to second.
Very productive out for Goforth. It's as good as a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, but the scheduling got pretty screwed up in the NECBL this year after Winnipesaukee left. It left you play each team in your division 8 times, and you play everyone else twice. Now you play each team in your division like 7 or 8 times, it depends, and then the teams in the West and in the North are each playing each other
3 times. That's right.
Instead of just twice, while
to make up that other game.
West teams are playing the Coastal Division teams just twice. Coastal Division teams are playing everyone else just twice. It's
because the Coastal Division has 5 teams.
Yep.
The North and the West have 4 teams this year.
A little bit of chaos all around, although I will say
they do a great job.
Yeah, they do a very good job with all of this and the scheduling, like scheduling certain doubleheaders to be automatic, make a lot of sense. Like North Adams only going to Newport once instead of having to make that trip twice.
Yeah.
Keene trip not too bad for North Adams, only about an hour and a half, much closer than a lot of divisional opponents.
It's one of the closer opponents for the SwampBats, but unfortunately we won't be making the trip to Joe Wolf Field this year.
Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2.
Infield,
Sorry, 0-1.
Infield in here for the SteepleCats with second and third and 1 out.
They'll be going home with any ball in the infield. But yes, this game a makeup of a rain out that was supposed to be played, I think about a couple weeks ago, as that pitch up and away, and the count 1-1.
Who knows these days?
So many rainouts for the SteepleCats. Last home game was June 23rd, which feels like 10 years ago. And 2-1 the lead here for the SwampBats here in the top of the 4th, but Keene threatening, 2 in scoring position with 1 gone. Breddick's 1-1 is just outside on the fastball, and it's 2-1. Anthony Livermore grounds it out to the pitcher his last time up, just 2 RBIs this season. Could double that mark with a base hit. Breddick sets just above the belt. Glove parallel to the letters. 2-1 pitch is rocketed towards left field, and that'll get down in the gap. 2 runs will score. Livermore's into second base, standing up with a 2 RBI double, and it's 4-1 SwampBats.
2 leadoff singles. The ground out to move the runners over pays off. And Livermore continues to be red hot at the plate with a 2-run double.
And so that puts the SwampBats lead up to 3 as the number 9 hitter, now Brian Padilla, will come to the plate. He walked his last time up in the 2nd inning. 4-1 the score now here in the top of the 4th as Padilla hits a blooping foul ball just over the first baseman Hannon's head. Maybe had a chance on it, but didn't get the best read initially. Gives that ball to a little kid. And gets an applause from the crowd down the right field line. The count 0-1. Nice night here in Keene. Clouds starting to look a little bit darker, which definitely is not what we want to see. I checked my weather app and it said there were thunderstorms going on at the moment, which was wrong. So I guess they don't really know. That pitched low and the count 1-1.
The weather forecast is the reason the fireworks show is postponed to July 28th. And certainly wouldn't be shocked if we get some rain in our near future, just looking at the sky.
We saw some sun showers earlier as that pitch outside, and it's 2-1. But my coach used to tell me, back in my first couple of years of high school, my JV lacrosse coach, is if you ever want a good job, you don't really have to do much, be a meteorologist. You can be wrong every single time, and everyone just seems to think, oh, it's okay.
This is true. I took earth science back in high school.
2-1 pitch misses low, and
I
it's
think I could do it.
I do think it's a lot more than actually like just saying what the weather is on TV, though. Like, I feel like we're broadcasters here. We could do that part, but it's the actual predicting the weather. I don't think I could do that one.
Well, I can tell you it's cloudy right now.
The 3-1, so wing and a miss, and that moves us forward to 3-2. I do enjoy the month out forecast. You don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks. How can you tell me it's going to be 85 degrees with thunderstorms on July 23rd?
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe one day.
The 3-2 pitch, and that pop foul out of play.
Weather forecasts are pretty funky. I've kind of thought to myself, we can get to the moon 50 years ago. We should be able to figure out the weather down here, but they haven't yet.
I don't remember who it was. I don't know if this was baseball or football. Someone said every game should be played in a dome to just not have to worry about it.
It's a terrible idea.
It is, I agree. No matter what sport it is, the outside is what makes it so fun. Payoff pitch again, and that ball sky high towards right field. Should be an easy play for Ryan, and she makes the catch. And that's shallow enough where Livermore will stay set at second. And that out number 2 with the top of the order now up.
Nice arm there from Reinich. Hit third on the fly. Livermore not even really thinking about tagging up.
And made a good decision there, not tagging up. As again, that brings up the top of the order and Jake Muma. 1 for 2 as that will be the end of the day for Nick Breddick. It looks like he will not face Muma as Ryan Abel, the manager, will make his way out onto the mound and point to the SteepleCats bullpen down the left field line. And so a new pitcher coming in for the Cats, and we'll get you who that is on the other side of this break. You're listening to Pure Oldies 104.1 and watching the NECBL Network.
Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake. Woo! Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my my shake, shake.
Score 4-1 here in the top of the fourth. 2 outs, and Anthony Livermore on second. Tobin will face Jake Muma. But first, a little bit about the new pitcher. Tobin has had a pretty solid start to this season. In 3 appearances, he's gone 4 1/3 innings. Has given up 7 hits and 3 runs, a ERA of 6.23. He's given up 1 home run, but those runs that he's given up have not mattered at the end of the day. He's mainly come in closing end of game situations with pretty big leads, and he's given up runs to make things a little too close for comfort, but at the end of the day has not blown anything, and he's looked pretty solid. A left-hander who's able to get up towards 90 miles an hour with the heater. Just about to be done with his warm-up pitches. He actually is, just threw his final one as Muma comes to the plate. He got 1 for 2 today. Singled, then came in to score back in the first. Just 3 RBIs on the season for the shortstop, but runner in scoring position as the SwampBats have a chance to extend their lead as a t-shirt toss going on in the first base grandstand. That's one of the best things, I think, in all of sports.
Adam, I got to participate in one of the t-shirt tosses here at Alumni Field a few games ago. Trevor Pearson was filling in for a couple innings on the radio, getting ready for our ESPN Plus games for him to do the radio. Brown Earring takes ball 1, and I took over as an operations intern for half it. I got to do the t-shirt toss, and Adam, as much as I love broadcasting, and it's very fun to be here at the booth, that was the most fun I had all season.
Oh, I bet. From the belt, the 1-0 pitch from Tobin is popped up. Reynolds, the shortstop, back. He calls everyone off at the edge of the infield grass. He makes the catch for out number 3. And so that will do it for the top of the 4th inning. The SwampBats get 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 in scoring position. No errors. And we move in to the bottom of the 4th with the score of 4-1 here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
Curious about the awesome talent Kelly has? Well, here are some robotics specialists. This group works in telecom on 5G. They work on autonomous vehicles. Those are education professionals. Oh, and system analysts, contact center reps, biologists. There's data scientists, substitute teachers, mechanical engineers, not to mention people who work on-site and off-site. Kelly's got top talent in specialized and emerging skill sets, ready to help your business prepare for what's next.
Inning. It's 4-1 Keene, who is serving as the away team, even though this game is being played at Alumni Field. That's because this is a makeup of a prior postponement. But again, back to that new pitcher. It is the right-hander out of Bryant, Tyler Tornberg. And what should we know about him?
Tornberg, righty out of Bryant University from Chatham, New Jersey. And he's been one of the SwampBats' more reliable relievers this season. He hit a home run on opening night, and since then he's been really, really good. 6 appearances, 11 innings total, 13 hits, 6 earned runs, 6 walks, and 9 strikeouts. No record and a 4.90 ERA, but he's been especially effective of late for the SwampBats. Taking over for Will Newell, who was solid in his first start of the season, going 3 innings, giving up 3 hits and 1 run. He walked 3 and struck out 1.
So Tyler Tornberg will face 6, 7, 8. It's Gunnar Johnson who will lead things off. Was stranded at third back in the second. He's had his best day of the season by far. Just 4 hits coming into July 3rd, and here on Independence Eve, he has hit a home run, a double, and a single. We'll lead off here as Tyler Tornberg looks in and steps off the back of the mound. Maybe an issue here with signs between Tornberg and Jackson Owen, the catcher out of Northeast Mississippi Community College, as they'll meet just in front of the pitcher's mound to try and figure this all out. Tornberg, 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. Rising senior. As Owen heads back behind the plate and falls into his crouch. Sorry. The catcher, Johnson, sees the first pitch and that upstairs, 1-0. Johnson actually, apologies, the left fielder today, but usually catcher. This is first game not as the catcher or designated hitter. As the pitch is hit sky high, third base side. Go Forrest looking after it, and it will drop, I believe, out of play. That's out of our view. And Johnson staying in the batter's box, so yes, that out of play, and it's 1-1. I believe the reason that Johnson's playing in left field is DM Jefferson fell to the ground in what appeared to be an injury back in the first game of our doubleheader, but I talked to him. He said he's all fine. It's just a cramp.
Very good to hear.
He's just okay. That actually resulted in the inside the park home run as a swing and a miss on a fastball on the count 1-2.
Generally, cramp is the best thing you can hear in any sort of injury concerned situation.
Absolutely.
And that's good from DM Jefferson. Not a great time for him to get a cramp.
No.
But
you'd rather it be a cramp than anything else, of course. Sounds like maybe we've got some more fireworks bursting in the distance as the count now 2-2. Now, one of my favorite things about July 4th is just looking up and seeing fireworks everywhere. Now, at-home fireworks, maybe not the smartest thing that you'll ever see.
Maybe not, especially on July 4th.
That pitch upstairs, and it's 3-2. I always remember the Jason Pierre-Paul situation, and
oh, yes.
I always say sometimes there's going to be a lot more people with less fingers.
Be careful at home, folks.
Be very careful if you do have your own fireworks, or if you're in North Adams, go out to Joe Wolf Field to see the fireworks as that's fouled off. If you really want to see fireworks in Keene, you got to wait a little bit towards July 28th. I guess you can now deem that Fireworks Friday.
That's right.
As
I think it's a Friday. I'm not very good with my days of the week.
Friday night. Yeah. Neither am I. Especially in this job. It's not like we're working Monday through Friday.
No, it's true.
It doesn't matter what day of the week. There's baseball. Payoff pitch, and Johnson fights that one off out of play down the first base side. Also, so many other towns put on their own fireworks shows, or if you really, really want to see them, watch them on TV. Not as special, but I gotta say what they do now with the drones flying through the fireworks can be really cool to watch.
I've never seen that before. I'm intrigued a little bit.
That one outside, ball 4. So yeah,
I was about to say, watching fireworks on TV, not really my thing.
It's not, but what they do now is, so I'm from the DC area. I've been into DC, I think, twice for fireworks because it's horrible without traffic, all that type of stuff.
Oh, sure.
So I always just sit at home and watch the fireworks, even though it's literally 30 minutes from the nation's capital without traffic sometimes. But they do this thing now, not as much for the DC fireworks as the first pitch to Chad Bourne-Low in the count 1-0. More with the New York City fireworks, I think, for July 4th.
I get to see those sometimes.
This might be for it's the New York City for July 4th, as the 1-0 pitch to Bourne misses low and it's 2-0. They'll kind of have these drones fly through, so you can almost see the fireworks explode right next to it, which is actually really cool. Now, of course, it's not as special.
That's pretty cool.
I imagine if you were in a movie theater where it's a big screen, it would be really cool. But I do get there's nothing like seeing it in person. Is that pitch low, and Owen just barely keeps it with him on a nice backhand grab.
Yeah, when you say watching fireworks on TV, that makes me think of, you ever played solitaire on the computer? And
yeah,
when you win, You win and you get those fireworks. I think those are pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's just about the same as watching the fireworks show on TV.
It is, but like it's 4th of July. I don't know. It's as that pitch outside and a 4-pitch walk to Bourne. That's back-to-back walks here from Tyler Tornberg, and not how he was hoping to start this bottom of the 4th inning. When I was a kid, I used to have this app on like my iPod where it was like a fireworks app, and you would just click it and a firework would go off and make a noise.
That's a good app.
It was really good for when I was little. Now, honestly, if I'm bored, I might re-download it. It was really cool ones, too, as mound visit
That's
here.
Hunter Cooley, just graduated from FAU. That's on with Tornberg. SwampBats have some more stretching in that bullpen. 3-run lead can evaporate quickly when you walk guys.
We do have a baseball game going on here, as much as we like to have fun up in the booth. Adam Gotkin,
We
gentlemen,
do.
you. 4-1 the score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And again, that's Hunter Cooley, the pitching coach. Very cool thing. You said he's at FAU. Ryan Abel, the manager for the SteepleCats, the director of operations and graduate assistant at FAU. So those two know each other very, very well, especially with Cooley. Even though he was playing, a guy who wants to be a coach, was always talking with the coaching staff in that room. So Abel and Cooley know each other very, very well. Jack Reynolds steps into the box now with the RBI single back in the 2nd. That's the only run so far of this game for North Adams. Got 2 on and no out. Reynolds shows bunt, pops it up straight back, but far enough back where Owen will watch it drop foul and the count 0-1. What's your favorite type of firework?
Ooh, that's a really good question. That's a very good question. Oh, but I'm on the spot. Hold on. I gotta think of it. I haven't seen a fireworks show probably since last summer. But
I don't know when else you would.
maybe New Year's Eve, I guess.
Reynolds shows bunt, pulls it back, it misses.
Oh, I gotta give you a good answer. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I think there's nothing wrong with the old-fashioned, high in the sky. You get a big, huge purple burst of fire, goes all the way around.
It's a good one.
The classic, you know, but the real deal. I'm not as big a fan of the ones that just go up and make a little noise. They don't explode.
Yeah.
I like my fireworks to explode. You know.
Oh yeah. Reynolds shows another bunt, pulls it back, missed high. It's 2-1.
How about yours?
My favorite is. We'll get it after this pitch, the 2-1. Bunt shown again, and this time down. It's a perfect one, sits right down, but close enough where Owen will get the throw off. And a picture-perfect sack bunt there for Jack Reynolds. Advances both runners into scoring position for Nathan Lincoln. My favorite is the ones they go up into the air, they blow up, and then they make the noise where they fizz away. It's normally white. So it's different than the ones that just shoot up without actually blowing up. These ones blow up.
I get that's a fair
take. They got the audio with it too, but I'm a fan of the ones that spell out words are pretty cool too.
Yeah, those are fancy.
Those are very fancy. Well, Nathan Lincoln now steps to the plate. He struck out swinging his first time up. 5 RBIs for the man out of Marist as the first pitch upstairs on a fastball. Appeal to second, and they say that Lincoln didn't go.
It's always tough for one of the things about having a 3-man umpiring crew. Almost all the plays are pretty easily covered with a 3-man crew, except for that one. When you've got an umpire in the middle of the infield trying to make a check swing call, it's not the easiest thing.
He probably has a worse view than the home plate umpire. 1-0. And that up and in for sure a ball. 2-0.
SwampBats had the corners in there for the first couple of pitches, but now they move the whole infield back with a 3-run lead and runners at second and third with 1 out.
In case Lincoln went for a squeeze. 2 on, 2 in scoring position. With tying run at the plate as that pitch way upstairs. Owen pops out of his stance to keep it with him. 4-1 the score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Couple guys getting loose in the SwampBats bullpen. Some arm warming up. Hard to tell exactly what
That's Dan Brown.
Dan Brown. It can be hard to tell sometimes with these SwampBats dark purple uniforms with black numbers. They are very pretty ones. 3-0, and that way upstairs inside ball 4. That's a 4-pitch walk to Nathan Lincoln, and that now loads the bases for the top of the order and the NECBL Player of the Week, Kyle Hannon. Hannon had an RBI on a ground out in the first of our doubleheader, as I think this will be the end of the day for Tyler Tornberg as Sean McKenna makes his way out onto the mound, and Tornberg will hand the ball off, and so that will be the end of the day for the right-hander out of Bryan. He walks 3, and we'll send things to a quick break here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. The score 4-1 Keene.
At Brattleboro Hearing Center, your hearing healthcare is their number.
First thing Bruce felt was quality, the consistency, knowing that when I take them out, they're going to be the same every time. And the second was to be able to see kids all over the country wearing the gloves that I designed. That's one of the coolest parts of this.
Inning here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network. Adam Gack and Jonah White with you. New pitcher into the game for the SwampBats is Dan Brown, and he's in a tough spot in here. It's the bases loaded with 1 out. Jonah, what should we know about the right-hander?
Dan Brown has had 2 really difficult appearances on the season, and he's had 4 really good appearances. So depends which Dan Brown we're going to see. When he's struggling, he's out of the strike zone. He's a side armor. A lot of side armors struggle throwing strikes. But we should know pretty quickly which Dan Brown we're getting here. When he's on, he's very hard to hit, especially for right-handed pitchers. He's a righty from Pace University. Tall, skinny right-hander, 6'4", 190 from East Northport, New York. And on the season, he is 0-1 with a 5.62 ERA, but he's allowed just 2 hits in 8 innings, 11 walks and 13 strikeouts. So the question with Brown is, can he be in the strike zone?
Well, first he'll face Kyle Hannon, the reigning NECBL Player of the Week. First pitch to Hannon, fastball in for a strike at the letters, and it's 0-1.
That's a very good sign for the SwampBats. First pitch strike from Dan Brown.
Bases loaded. Johnson at third, Bourne at second, Lincoln at first. 4-1, SwampBats in the lead. But Kyle Hannon could change that with 1 swing of the bat. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 just like that. And Dan Brown looks pretty locked in on the mound.
Yeah, 87 from that uncommon arm slot, parallel to the ground, a true side armor. Very hard for righties, but even not so easy for lefties.
Now more fireworks. Definitely a little bit distracting as that pitch outside, and it's 1-2. I still think it's too early. It's still light out.
I agree with you.
And so a little bit harder to see. We're trying to see if we can see any in the outfield, but all out of our viewpoint.
You see the smoke, but yeah, I think you're wasting your fireworks here.
1-2 pitch, that's far inside as Hannon moves his hands up to avoid getting hit on the count 2-2. Again, with the bases loaded and 1 gone.
You don't want to go to a 3-2 count here if you're Dan Brown.
Be in danger of walking a run in. When these teams first met, it was the SwampBats who won on a walk-off walk. 4th ball with the bases loaded as the 2-2 fouled back, and Hannon will live to see another day.
Nice job by Hannon, fouling back the fastball.
Brown surrounded on the hill. Right-hander looks in. Right arm hanging down low. He now brings the ball into the glove and deals. At far outside, moves us full to 3-2 as Brown misplaces the fastball.
Big pitch coming up with 3-2 with the bases loaded. Got ahead of him 0-2, and now it's 3-2.
Big moment here. 4th inning of a 7-inning ball game. SteepleCats, the home team on the road. Is this a makeup? The payoff pitch, and Hannon sends that one into right center field. That's down for a base hit, and it will roll all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Bourne. Lincoln stopped at third, but it's a 2 RBI double from Kyle Hannon, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Well, you can't ask too much more of Dan Brown there. That's a fastball at the knees. Good pitch for Brown. Just a good piece of hitting from a good hitter.
Very good hitter at that. The league player of the week, and that brings up maybe, if possible, an even more dangerous hitter in the league home run leader, Sam Tackett. Doubled already today, and he's got the tying runner just 90 feet away in Nathan Lincoln.
The advantage here for the SwampBats is it is right on right, so it'll be hard for Tackett to pick up Brown with the infield in for the SwampBats.
Full infield in with the tying runner at third. Tackett's just got to send this ball to the outfield. First pitch called strike away, and 1-1.
Yeah, that would be enough to tie the game. A base hit would be enough to give North Adams the lead.
Tackett popped down to second his last time up in the last inning. That would not be enough. Go-ahead runner at second. And that pitch up and away on the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Long look in from Brown. He now sets at the letters. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a look like change-up low and outside, just above the dirt, and it's 1-2 now to Tackett. Jake Reinisch on deck. He's walked twice today. Tackett looking to get it done himself. The 1-2 upstairs on a fastball. 2-2. Brown takes it back, adjusts his purple cap, and now looks in, getting the signs from the catcher, Owen. The lanky right-hander sets into the sidearm motion. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Off speed, low and away, and Tackett kicking his feet in the dirt, not too happy with himself, as that's out number 2 here at the bottom of the 4th inning.
When you're a right-handed hitter trying to pick up the tall Dan Brown, who gets way over to third base with that right arm as he delivers a pitch, it's just very hard to pick it up. And when Brown is hitting his spots with his pitches, as he did there with a slider low and away, it's just really, really hard for a right-hand hitter to hit the baseball.
Brings up Jake Reinisch, the left-handed hitter. Now, this is a little, I'd say, out of the box. The whole infield is back here. With Nathan Lincoln's speed at third, I would go with a squeeze maybe if I'm Ryan Abel in this situation. Full infield is playing back. First pitch to Reinisch is in for a strike. There is 2 outs, but even then, I'm saying no one's expecting.
Oh, the 2-out squeeze.
The 2
I see
out
what you're
squeeze.
saying. Interesting.
You're pointing to 2. I say I know there's 2 outs. Because at this point, the third baseman, Goforth, is playing very far back. Down 0-1 to Reinisch as he takes the first pitch for a strike and sends that one sky high towards center field. Not deep enough. Smith will settle under it and make the catch for out number 3. And so that will do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. The SteepleCats strand 2 runners on, but scored 2 runs on a Kyle Hannon RBI double. We're into the 5th here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
Keene SwampBats Baseball on the NECBL Network is brought to you by Duncan, Timken, Ted's Shoe and Sport, C&S Wholesale Grocers, Raider Dental, Corning, Service Credit Union, the Keene Sentinel, the Greater Keene and Peterborough Chamber, connecting business and community, U.S. Cellular, Coca-Cola, Monadnock Broadcasting Group, Savings Bank of Walpole, the savings bank of you, Monadnock Ford, Fidium Fiber Internet, Yanos Technology, Fenton Family Dealerships, Hertskirt, American House, Fairfield, making memories since 1904, Fraser & Son Furniture, ICU Medical, M&T Bank, Mascoma Bank, True Rest, and by New Hampshire Ball Bearings Incorporated.
White having fun with you on this Monday night, Independence Eve, coming to you from Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. We got a good game here, 4-3 your score. Will Tobin back on to the hill. Came in the middle of the top of the fourth in a rough spot with the runner on second base, but forced a pop out on the first batter that he saw. Now he'll see Devin Taylor. And I don't know if there's anyone who's hotter than Taylor right now today. Had a home run in the first game. Now, be that a inside the park home run. And now has a, what you called it, outside the park home run, or regular home run back in the first inning. First pitch is in for a strike, though, from Tobin, and the count 0-1.
Just trying to be clear, you know.
No, you got to be after the rare inside the park home run, and scored officially as that, not a Little League home run. Was aided by the cramping of a SteepleCat outfielder as that pitch fouled back, and it's 0-2.
You know, Taylor's a guy who comes here after being the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, hitting .316 of the Big Ten with Indiana. Sky-high expectations when he came to the SwampBats a weekend of the season after playing in the NCAA Regional with the Hoosiers.
That ball roped foul down the right field line.
In his second game here with the SwampBats, he had a home run and a 1-0 win. Then he really spent some time struggling at the plate, but you just knew with a guy like Taylor, a swing like he has, strength and skill he's got as a hitter, it was only a matter of time before he got hot, and that has happened.
Tobin kicks and deals, and that pitch fouled back. Almost grazed the home plate umpire, but just missed the man behind the plate. It's 0-2, and big firework there went off. Loud boom. That scared me, and I think might have gotten you a little bit too, John.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if we get one of these during playing action.
0-2, and that ball fouled towards the bullpen. Watch out. Bunch of guys try and reach down for it, but end up realizing that's got a little bit too much mustard to bare hand. Count 0-2 again. Yeah, if a pitcher's in the middle of their delivery, you hope that the home plate umpire, or whatever umpire is, would give him some grace if there's runners on, maybe, and not call a balk. 0-2. And that softly hit third base line. Stop and dying in the grass. Throw to first, though, from the pitcher. Tobin is in time for out number 1.
That is a great play by the pitcher.
Tobin, the left-hander, athletic off the mound. Very thick grass here at Alumni Field, and that ball just died way too slow for the third baseman Lincoln to get it. Tobin took it himself, and a rocket to first. Nice stretch, too, by Kyle Hannon. And that's out number 1 now with Braden Horton coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today.
I think maybe 25% of pitchers make that play. Another 25% probably put it in their pocket, and the other 50% throw it into right field. Great play by Tobin.
This is the one thing that worries you. You'd rather have an infield single than an error, especially here at Alumni Field where there's no fence as the first pitch to Horton fouled off.
If you sail that thing down the right field line, it's going to be a long way for anybody to go get it.
It's either far away or it's out of play, and the runner gets 2 bases.
That's right.
So that man's going to third and not just second, where it could be at most other fields. Tobin, the kick again, the 0-1. That misses low, and the count 1-1. Beautiful night here from the friendly confines at Alumni Field. Great turnout. Keene supporting their SwampBats incredibly, as they always do. High kick and the pitch is up and in, and the count 2-1. The left-hander looks in, shakes off the first sign, now says yes, and brings the glove to the belt. Number 31 kicks and deals, and that low and outside. 3 balls and a strike, now the count. The left-hander hitting Horton digs into the box, shimmies his hips, and now awaits. The pitch on its way, and it misses inside, ball 4. And that's a one-out walk to the SwampBats first baseman. He'll bring up the center fielder, Jordan Smith, who's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Well, the way Smith has been swinging the bat recently, SwampBats be very happy to have a guy on base for him.
What he did in the first game was hit a home run. That was a solo shot to lead off the bottom of the third.
He was robbed of a home run in the fourth.
He's been hitting it hard. Don't have to hit it that hard to hit it out in some parts of the park here in Keene. As the first pitch in for a strike at the letters, 0-1. Definitely not a pitcher's paradise. Straightaway center field, just 352. Deep and right at 354, but shallow and left at just 325. Fence stays the same height all around. I don't know the official number, but probably around 9 or so feet as they swing and a miss on a pitch low in the count 0-2. Probably 9-10 feet. That's just based on an estimate of some of the fans sitting in lawn chairs behind the fence. The kick in, the 0-2, and that bounced towards short. Reynolds, the shortstop, bobbles it a little bit, but does get the throw off to second for 1, and so
it wasn't going to be a double play anyway with Smith running.
Yeah, too slow of a roller anyways, so it's a 6-4 fielder's choice. Horton out at second, and Matt Brown-Earing will come to the plate. He singled and scored back in the fourth.
Smith has hit into a couple of double plays this season, but in order for a guy with his speed to do it, you got to hit the ball really hard, straighten it infielder. I think Reynolds knew there was no chance to get 2.
Bats lead the Cats by 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Will Tobin kicks and deals the first pitch to the right-handed hitter, and it misses outside. The count 1-0.
With a lefty on the mound, Smith trying to get in the pitcher's head a little bit by flinching towards second base as Tobin's looking right at him.
The 1-0 offering. Called strike on a fastball, 1-1. Smith 2 for 3 on stolen base attempts so far this season. He's appeared in now 13 games. This is 14th, 13 coming into this one. As the 1-1 up and away, and 2 balls, 1 strike now the count.
I don't see anything.
The fireworks continue on in the distance. Now a ton coming off, blowing off in a very short amount of time. Tobin at the belt. Long look in, now a glance at first. The kick in, the 2-1. Low, and that moves us to 3-1.
I'm getting a bit skeptical that this is just somebody doing their own fireworks at home. There's a lot of fireworks.
A lot of money on fireworks right there. So it's not cheap.
No, they're not.
Not at all cheap. Tobin kicks and deals, runner going, swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. Smith will slide into second without a throw. That is his 3rd steal of the season. Get some applause from the crowd as the center fielder moves into scoring position, and the count moves full here with 2 gone. Now a base hit would have a chance to make this a 2-run game here in the top of the 5th. But Tobin just trying to get out of this here. Popped foul over the first base grandstand and into the trees out of play. We'll go again with the count full at 3-2. Fireworks can't be more than a mile away. Believe they're right behind the tree line in center field. Every once in a while you can kind of see a little bit of red or white lights kind of coming from that area. As the payoff pitch again is fouled off again. And we'll go again with the count full at 3-2.
Matt Brown-Earing is a guy who's worked his way into the lineup with his quality at bats. It's a crowded outfield for the SwampBats. Devin Taylor, Jordan Smith, Blake Delamelier starting the majority of the time, but Brown-Earing has been just working very high quality at bats all season long.
Delamelier getting this game off. He's walked 15 times, fouls that one off, out of play again. And the right-hander continues to battle.
And you know what? That was ball 4, a fastball high out of the strike zone. But you got to give Brown Earring credit. He knows what's the situation. 2 strikes, a guy on second base, protecting the plate. And he gets a pitch out of the strike zone, and he's able to get his back to it and see another one.
Still 3-2 to the number 5 hitter in right fielder, Matt Brown Earring. Tobin sets the kick and the pitch, and popped up, foul, straight back, Polk racing over, and that's out of my view and out of the ballpark, so we'll go again. The count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, as it's been for the last, I think, 4 or so pitches, as Brown Earring continues to battle.
Working up Tobin's pitch count. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Still 7 outs to get for the SteepleCats if this is a regulation 7-inning game. Making the pitcher work.
Tobin came in with 2 outs in the 4th. This top of the 5th, his first full inning, trying to keep this a 4-3 game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Goes with the breaking ball low and away, and Tobin gets Brown Earring to whiff and miss. A long battle, and the lefty at a U-Penn wins it. And so that'll do it for the top of the 5th inning. No hits, no runs, 1 left on base, and we move into the bottom half of the 5th here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Broadcast Network. Massachusetts, so the SteepleCats, the home team in the second of 2 games. First pitch to Hudson Polk from the sidearmer Dan Brown, in for a called strike, and the count 0-1. Polk hit by a pitch his last time up. Was in on the fingers, looked to be a little bit scary, but stayed in the game. He's all okay as that pitch outside, and it's 1-1. Oh, I can see some fireworks now down the left field line. A few sparklers as they continue to go off. There's that pitch low and away, and it's 2-1.
I'll tell you what, Adam, I was never a big, you know those real sparklers? The ones you hold in your hand?
Oh, those are dumb.
Those are scary.
Those are dumb. They're just like hot, you hold it out and it sparkles down.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that
burns
cool.
Burns your hands.
Polk fouls one off.
It's one of the stupider inventions in the history of our species.
We count 2-2. I disagree with that. However,
there are some other dumb ones.
Yeah,
ketchup
like
packets.
It's kind of cool, but yeah, I'm not a fan. The 2-2, and a swing and a miss on the fastball, strike 3. Polk goes down via the K. It's the second strikeout for Dan Brown, and it'll bring up Aiden Stewart, who is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored.
Adam, on Saturday in Vermont, with a game out of hand, Dan Brown came in for the SwampBats in a mop-up role because he'd struggled his last couple of outings throwing strikes. He pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings. So that gets him back into a high leverage role.
First pitch to Aiden Stewart, a ball in the count 1-0.
In a 1-run game right here. And he's doing a really nice job so far. So even in blowout games like the SwampBats had on Saturday, you could look for positives. There could be positives that impact the team in a positive way moving forward. And that seems to have been the case with Dan Brown pitching well on Saturday.
Stewart took a pitch low and inside, moves the count to 2-0 as the next offering. Low, and it's 3-0. It's always the issue with sidearmers is that control. Just because it's such a different arm slot, coaches a lot of the times, especially in summer ball, struggle with it because they're not recruiting sidearmers as the fastball in at the knee is 3-1. So the pitching coaches sometimes don't know exactly what to say to try and fix it. So it can be hard for the sidearmers as well. Got to work through a lot of it themselves, work on Zoom and FaceTime as a swing and a miss on a fastball, and there's Dan Brown showing off his velocity.
Definitely, it's a specialty, but there's a big benefit to it too if you could do it well.
Absolutely. The payoff pitch, and that's low and away, ball 4. That's a walk to Aiden Stewart. Brings up Gunnar Johnson, who can't say enough of the day that he has had. A home run, double, single, a walk, and a run scored. He's been just absolutely spectacular. Actually make it 2 runs scored, considering he scored on the home run. And, oh, by the way, that double, he got 2 RBIs. Got a runner on first here. Aiden Stewart represents the tying run. Johnson represents the go-ahead run here in a 1-run ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch to the right-handed hitting left fielder is low in the count 1-0. Some action in the SwampBats bullpen. A left-hander that I can't make out the number of. I don't know if you can, Jonah.
That should be Caden Campbell, I'm going to guess.
Fouled off, and
SwampBats don't have too many lefties. I think that's the only lefty reliever. Caden Campbell from Louisville. Another hard thrower. Sometimes could struggle with his command.
1-1 the count. Stewart at first with pretty good speed. Leaning back towards the back, though. I think he doesn't want to do is get picked off. Johnson pops one up. That could stay in play. First baseman Horton there, and it drops just in front of the dugout. Horton could get in there in time, and it's 1-2.
I think that was still in play. Obviously, a very tough play for Horton.
Out of the fence, behind the fence. I don't know if that's in or out of, because
that would have been interesting. Yeah, that would have been
behind
interesting.
the fence, but further back to the point where the fence wasn't there. He didn't have to like turn around the fence.
Right. That would have been an interesting one if he caught it. It could have produced some controversy whether that's in or out of play.
If you're Ryan Abel, you're saying that's out of play, and
Right.
you're trying to argue it. The 1-2 pitch. Got him looking strike 3. Just on the outside part of the plate, the off-speed freezes Johnson.
That's a good pitch.
That's now 2 gone. Not easy to see at all, especially for the right-handed hitters, as that's coming all the way across the zone. It feels way further outside than it really is.
And there's just so much horizontal movement on that ball. You're just not really sure where it's going to end up. You have to guess.
Brings up Chad Bourne. He walked in and scored in the last inning. First pitch to Bourne, misses low in the count 1-0.
Couple of pitching lines for you. Tornberg, a third of an inning, 2 runs, 3 walks. For Reddick, the SteepleCats starter, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Brown and Tobin are the active pitchers right now for the SwampBats to the SteepleCats.
Brown glances over at first. Now comes set. Kicking the pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 1-1. I mean, how often do you see a sidearmer blow a pitch past a batter? That's what Dan Brown can do for you.
Yeah, they're usually funky sort of pitchers, junk ballers, if you will. A lot of off-speed stuff, but Dan Brown's a hard thrower. High 80s from that arm slot.
1-1 low and away. Misses the zone on the 79-mile-an-hour off speed, and it's 2-1.
Had a good slider as well when he could throw it near the strike zone.
Bourne swings his bat around. Now rested on the right shoulder. Brown sets and deals. This is low. 3 balls and a strike.
Shaq Reynolds, who has hit an RBI single and a successful sacrifice bunt, would be next.
Aiden Stewart takes a 3-step lead at first base. 3 balls, 1 strike the count to Chad Bourne. Dan Brown deals. Bourne fouls it off. That loses full.
Good fastball on the outer third there from Brown.
89 from the sidearm.
Yeah, that's not the same as 89 overhand in terms of how hard it is to pick up.
It's not as sidearm as you'll see sometimes. It's probably like 5/8.
Yeah, it's definitely more than 3/4.
But it's definitely way more than 3/4. It's not a full sidearm, I don't think, as Stewart's running. That pitch, though, is going to be up and in, ball 4. And so Stewart doesn't get the steal, but he does get to advance into scoring position. And it brings up Jack Reynolds here with 2 outs. He's had a positive day at the plate, an RBI single and a sacrifice bunt. As that'll be the end of the day now for Dan Brown as the manager for the SwampBats. Sean McKenna in his 3rd season makes his way out onto the mound and takes the ball. So a new pitcher coming in for Keene. We'll give you that information on the other side of the break. You're listening to Pure Oldies 104.1 and watching the NECBL Broadcast Network.
At Keene State College, life is an adventure. You'll forge your path forward. As an owl, you'll take on challenges in the classroom, field, court, or track. Every worthwhile adventure has its share of blood, sweat, and tears. It takes hard work and dedication. No owl flies alone on their journey at Keene State. Teammates, coaches, professors, alumni, and fellow owls are with you along the way. They lift you up as you continue forward. When you're part of Owl Nation, you become the person you truly want to be.
First pitch in for a strike on a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Campbell 6'1", 210, sophomore from Fairfield, Ohio. 5 2/3 innings. He hasn't allowed a hit. 1 unearned run, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts, 2-1 the record.
Just made his way back to Keene after trying out for the collegiate national team down in Cary, North Carolina, as the 0-1 outside, 1-1. I mean, what an honor that is, too, for Campbell after his freshman season.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Caden is a really good pitcher, hard thrower, low 90s from the left side. Can be a bit wild. Wild pitches are a concern with him on the mound as well. He's thrown 4 of them this season.
Runners on first and second. That pitch just at the knees. Reynolds not too happy with it, but definitely in the zone, and it's 1-2.
But Campbell definitely a valuable piece in the SwampBats bullpen. He's been missed over the past week.
Campbell makes a long lean in, left arm swaying down, asks for some new signs, and now sets at the belt. 2 on, 2 out. 1-run ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. The kick and the pitch. And Reynolds skies that one towards deep center field. Smith ranging back and over. He looks up and it's out of here! Into the trees, Jack Reynolds with a 3-run home run. And the SteepleCats lead 6-4. Jack Reynolds, his first home run of the season. The Cats dugout loves it, and North Adams leads by 2.
332 feet over the center field fence. And the SteepleCats have their first lead of the day, 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th. The SwampBats now down to their final 6 outs.
Reynolds had 2 RBIs all season coming into this game. Now he's got 6 on the year. His first home run couldn't come at a bigger time, makes it 6-4 Cats. First pitch to Nathan Lincoln, a ball inside and the count 1-0.
So that finishes up the line on Dan Brown, an inning at 2/3, 1 hit and 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
On a way inside as Lincoln's got to jump out of the way to avoid getting hit in the count 2-0.
What happened on that pitch?
So now it's 6-4 SteepleCats. Bottom of the 5th and a 7-inning contest.
5 runs in the last 2 innings for the Cats. Campbell into the wind and the pitch. Up and away, 3-0. And Campbell maybe a little bit shaken up after that home run to the first batter that he saw. The pitch, and that just catches the outside part of the plate for a strike, and it's 3-1.
Looking ahead to the 6th now, the SwampBats will have Owen, Goforth, and Livermore. 6, 7, and 8 due up.
Lincoln rockets one towards right center field. That's down for a base hit. And a single for Nathan Lincoln. He continues his tear at the plate, and that brings back up the top of the order in Kyle Hannon. Hannon with a 2 RBI double his last time up in the 4th. The Cats have taken the lead 6-4 after the Jack Reynolds 3-run home. Campbell sets at the belt, the kick and the pitch, and that far and outside, 1-0.
Get him a bucket! Going up! Yeah, Reynolds, but you gotta give him a tip, bro. He came and served like a waiter.
Campbell sets. Throw back over to first, and back in time is Lincoln.
Figure it out!
SteepleCats dugout now having a ton of fun in the lead. Looking to break a 3-game losing streak as that pitch outside, and it's 2-0 to Kyle Hannon. By the way, after that single, Nathan Lincoln's batting average up to .339 on the year now. Hannon at the plate hitting .321.
Say so.
The 2-0.
Oh, that's a good
and
lead.
That upstairs.
Do not want that.
3-0.
Yes! Yes!
SwampBats now have a righty warming up in the bullpen. Campbell's given up a homer and a single. Now he's behind 3-0 on Kyle Hannon with a dangerous Tackett 2 up on deck.
Kick at the pitch, and Hannon watches it all the way in, just catches the zone.
That'll get me over breaking ball from Campbell on 3-0.
Inside part of the plate moves us to 3-1. 2 outs, 6-4. Cats lead the Bats. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Campbell, a chance to get out of it, and Hannon fouls it off over our press box here on the third base side, moves us full to 3-2.
Like you're a sick bastard. We're sitting 3-0 slide. Yeah, just be like, Jesus.
Campbell, the lefty out of Louisville, leans in. To the belt. To the left-handed hitting Hannon. And it's popped up sky high. Campbell, the catcher, calling for it, and he'll make the catch in front of the mound for out number 3.
See too many P1s on the scorecard.
So a pop out to the pitcher will end the 5th inning, but not before the SteepleCats bounce back, take the lead 6-4 on a Jack Reynolds 3-run blast. We head to break here on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
At Keene State College, life is an adventure. You'll forge your path forward. As an owl, you'll take on challenges in the classroom, field, court, or track. Every worthwhile adventure has its share of blood, sweat, and tears. It takes hard work and dedication. No owl flies alone on their journey at Keene State. Teammates, coaches, professors, alumni, and fellow owls are with you along the way. They lift you up as you continue forward. When you're part of Owl Nation, you become the person you truly want to be.
The way things go in the New England League, I will send things back to the home broadcaster for the latter 2 innings. Jonah, take it away.
Thank you very much. Jonah White, Adam Gotkin with you at Alumni Field. We've got a good game here for you. 6-4 SteepleCats, a 3-run homer from Jack Reynolds. Making it so as we enter the top of the 6th inning in a 7-inning game. So just 6 outs for the SwampBats to play with. Will Tobin is on the mound. He's thrown an inning into 3rd scoreless in relief of Nick Ferretic. He's walked 1 and got 1 strikeout. It's the 6-hitter, Jackson Owen, who's 1 for 2 with a single, leading off the 6th for the Bats. And he fouls one over the right side grandstand into the swamp. No balls and a strike.
That is a swamp over there? Is it a lake?
It's a swamp. We got Wilson Pond over behind us, sort of behind home plate and behind that first base grandstand. But the 0-1 outside, and it's 1-1. But yes, it is a swamp. That is the origin of the name, the Keene SwampBats.
Are there bats?
Well, there are. I'll tell you what, there's bats. Jackson Owen is holding a bat. Here's the 0-2. Fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-2. I don't know. I would assume they're bats.
Now, is it the SwampBats as in like the baseball players, and then a bat is just the logo? Or is it actually the bats in the swamp as in the flying animal?
It's really it's both. You know, there's certainly an element of the baseball bats in there, but I don't know if you've seen Ribby. He's our mascot here, and he's a swamp bat. That's outside, 1-2. Speaking of Ribby, Wednesday at Alumni Field, the SwampBats will be taking out the North Shore Navigators, and we will be celebrating Ribby's birthday. It'll be a very exciting night here at Alumni Field. 2-2. The ground, the shortstop charging is Reynolds. He's up with it, double clutches, throws out the run in time to get Owen 1 man away. That'll bring up Evan Goforth, who's grounded out and grounded out.
Just made me think, I wonder how you decide a mascot's birthday. Is this the day they were introduced? Are they actually born?
I don't know. I'll have to ask our president, Kevin Watterson, if he knows. But Goforth steps to the plate now. Right-hand hitter against Will Tobin. And the lefty's pitch is way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 6-4 SteepleCats, 1 out, nobody on top of the 6th of the 7-inning game. SwampBats scored 2 of the first, 2 of the 4th. Had a 4-1 lead midway through the 4th. North Adams with 1 of the 2nd, 2 of the 4th, and 3 in the 5th on the homer by Reynolds. Foul over to the first base side. 1 ball and 1 strike on Go For It.
A rough day so far, and a rough game for Go For It here, but he was incredible in the first game of our doubleheader, 3 for 4. Going to try and get back to that here.
Grounded out on a nice play to the shortstop. Was robbed of an infield hit in the 2nd inning by Reynolds. The 1-1 outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now what's going on over there with Aiden Stewart's hat? There's a blue light flashing.
I think it's his sunglasses on top of the hat that are shimmering in the lights.
Huh.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
That's interesting. It's distracting to me. It must be. What if it's distracting to the hitter? 2-1. Breaking ball misses low, and it's 3 balls and a strike on Go For It.
I don't think they can tell him to take it off.
Huh.
I remember it was a couple years ago, Texas Rangers game. A fan had like a flashing light once in the outfield, and they stopped the game to go to the fan to turn it off. But it's just glasses. I don't think they could tell you to take it off.
Foul back, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes on Evan Go For It. Tony Livermore, 2-run double his last time up, waits on deck. Take another look at the NECBL out-of-town scoreboard on this Monday night after the 3-2 pitch to Go For It. Tobin will step off. Upper Valley Nighthawks 9, Vermont Mountaineers 3. That's a final from the Upper Valley. Sanford Mainers 6, North Shore Navigators 5. That's a final from Sanford in 11 innings. So that game almost ended in a tie. 3-2. Low, ball 4, and Go For It works a 1-out walk, the second issued by Tobin.
And Go For It hasn't walked a ton this year, just 3 times, but able to get on there via the free pass. And tying run comes to the plate just like that.
Valley Blue Sox lead the Danbury Westerners 2-0 in the Valley of Western Massachusetts. That game's at the top of the 8th inning. Martha's Vineyard Sharks and the Newport Gulls were postponed.
Valley can win that game. They will be back to being tied for the division lead.
Left on left here with Livermore at bat, and he smacks one down the left field line. It could be trouble. It's a foul ball. Foul by 2 feet down that left field line. And it's strike 1.
Reminding me a little bit of the inside the park home run that we saw earlier. Just foul. Gunnar Johnson, I think, is going to hear it from the bullpen. They're yelling at him to be faster, but that ball way out of reach.
So 0-1 the count on Livermore with Brian Padilla on deck.
Yeah, I heard a yell from the dugout, nice speed, Gunner. This is his first time in the outfield all season, so we'll just get a little bit of flack from his teammates, but all in love.
Tobin sets above the belt. Right leg kick, the pitch. Breaking ball low, 1 outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tobin has thrown 39 pitches in an inning and 2/3. 1-1 to Livermore. Way up and in. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, watch out. Seen a couple chin scrapers in the last couple of innings.
A look in as Go For It leads off first base. Held on by Hannon. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Good pitch from Will Tobin. Left on left matchup here. The 2-2 to Livermore. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a fastball at 88 miles an hour. 2 men away for Brian Padilla. Second strikeout there for Tobin. That will send Padilla to the plate. He's walked and flied out to right. Go forth is the runner at first with 2 outs. 6-4. North Adams leads at the top of the 6th of a 7-inning game. The pitch. Fastball strike out the outside corner. It's 0-1. So look in for Tobin. He's ready. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike. 0-2. Well, Tobin's been very good in relief for Reddick, the starter.
He's been really positive all year long. Just trying to get out of this inning right here.
0-2 on the way. Ball high. Missed with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2 the count on Padilla. Tobin ready. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball fouled toward right field, and it's still 1-2 strikes. Seven and 15 SwampBats against the 5 and 15 SteepleCats. SwampBats looking to sweep this doubleheader, but they will have to come back late to do so. So 1-2. Breaking ball, foul back. Good at bat by Padilla. Still 1-2 strikes. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for North Adams in the bottom of the 6th against Caden Campbell. One-two to Padilla. Fouled off toward the grandstand first base side, and it's still 1-2 strikes.
And if anything, this is a positive at-bat for Padilla to try and get Tobin out of the game after this inning. He's up now towards 50 pitches. His next will be his 49th. He's trying to get a new reliever in for the latter 2 innings. Latter inning, actually. We're in the 6th.
On 1-2, Padilla takes outside. Good eye. 2-2. A really nice professional at bat being taken here by the UConn second baseman. Go forth the runner at first. 6-4 SteepleCats at the top of the 6th with 2 outs. 2-2. Taken outside. It's 3-2.
Yeah, you said a professional at bat here. This is really all you can ask for.
Fouled off a number of pitches on 1-2. Now he's got it to 3-2. It'll be a head start for Goforth at first base.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat.
The payoff pitch taken. Strike 3 called. On the outside corner at the top of the zone. Padilla not so sure. He expresses his frustration. But that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th in Keene. 6-4 North Adams. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL Network.
Curious about the awesome talent Kelly has? Well, here are some robotics specialists. This group works in telecom on 5G. They work on autonomous vehicles. Those are education professionals. Oh, and system analysts, contact center reps, biologists. There's data scientists, substitute teachers, mechanical engineers, not to mention people who work on-site and off-site. Kelly's got top talent in specialized and emerging skill sets, ready to help your business prepare for what's next.
will send up Sam Tackett, Jake Reinisch, and Hudson Polk in the home sixth against Caden Campbell. Gave up a 3-run home run that gave North Adams the lead on the first batter he faced, Jack Reynolds, in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch high, 1-0. Campbell trying to keep it a 2-run game. Heading into the seventh and final scheduled inning, where the SwampBats will have the top of their order due up. Mumaw, Taylor, and Horton. That misses. It's 2-0. Wines had the 2-0 pitch from Campbell. Got out and missed. 2-1. Rain now started to come down at Alumni Field.
Now we can see some fireworks over the
Fireworks
tree
going
line.
off at the distance past left field. The pitch outside. 3 balls at a strike.
Looks like it started to rain a little bit too.
It has.
Some water coming down up in the lights. Very, very light it seems, though.
Obviously, this is an official game at this point. 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is full on Sam Tackett, who's 1 for 3 with a double. Campbell winds in, deals. Outside and high, ball 4. A leadoff walk for Sam Tackett. That will bring up Jake Reinisch, who's walked twice and flied out. It's the 9th walk allowed by SwampBats pitching in this game.
So this now confused me. So can you do fireworks when it's raining? Because it's raining pretty hard now, and you can still hear them. You kind of see them, too, a little bit beyond the left field line.
Yeah, I guess we have our answer.
Yes.
I don't see much right now. Here's a left-hand batting Reinisch. Takes a fastball high, 1-0. The choice of Major League All-Stars is now the official batting gloves of the New England League. Bruce Bolt. Bruce Bolt batting gloves are handmade by skilled craftsmen using 100% real Cabretta leather. The stitching, materials, and unique design make these the best-fitting, most durable batting gloves at baseball. Strike at the knees, 1-1. For more information, visit brucebolt.us. That's brucebolt.us. 1-1 the count to Reinisch. Campbell sets. The 1-1. Breaking ball high, 2 balls at a strike. Whether you're an island resident or planning a summer getaway, the fastest way to get to the Cape and Islands is by taking the New England League's preferred partner, the Steamship Authority Ferry. Visit steamshipauthority.com for more information. Two one to Reinisch. Breaking ball, he went around. Tried to check the swing, but couldn't, and it's 2-2. 6-4 SteepleCats, bottom of the 6th inning in a 7-inning game. Nobody out and a runner at first base. Time is called. There's a car with its lights on at center field. I think that's the issue. Jordan Smith going to tell that guy to turn their lights off, which is obviously distracting to the hitter. Ryan Abel spotted that and alerted the third base umpire, Don Goller.
Looks like
a couple of lights on.
Looks like some issues there for Jordan Smith to get him to turn the lights off. I don't know what you want him to do.
Well, just going to try and yell through the fence. If that doesn't work, we'll have to try something else. I don't think they're going to ask Campbell to throw another pitch while the car's lights are on over past center field.
They had a few fans leaving early to try and beat the traffic out, and maybe they can ask. Yeah, that car right behind center field is there. It is starting to pull away, so we should be all good.
And yeah, it looks like the lights are off now. The car is pulling out. See you later. 2-2 the count on Jake Reinisch. Campbell's ready. Here's the 2-2, a throw over to first, and already standing on the base is Tackett.
I mean, Tackett was on the base almost the entire time, but that's a really good pickoff move by Caden Campbell. Could be really dangerous if someone's got a bigger lead. Tackett really one step over.
2-2. Fastball way upstairs, and it's 3-2.
So Tackett takes a massive secondary lead, but his initial lead very tiny. The second that pitcher goes into his delivery, he kind of takes a couple almost sprint steps towards second. A little bit dangerous for a potential back pick.
Campbell ready. The 3-2. Hit him. I think he got him on the shoulder. A walk at a hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Hudson Polk.
This is exactly what North Adams is looking for. Just some insurance runs, especially after what happened the first time these two teams played, and Keene hit a game-tying home run down to their final strike.
That was Alec Rich, who hasn't had an at-bat today. Be the top of the SwampBats batting order coming up. So you'd think Rich is unlikely to get a pinch hit opportunity in the 7th, but right now the SwampBats are concerned with keeping this a 2-run ball game. Horton in at first in case Polk lays down a sacrifice bunt, but the pitch is up and away.
And the rain really starting to come down now.
SwampBats have, it looks like, Sam Portnoy, I want to say, warming up in the bullpen. But to be honest, not entirely sure. 1-0. Cut out and miss. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Not sure, actually, I don't think that's Portnoy. It's a righty. That might be Garrett Rice, who's a position player, but he's pitched some this season, and he's been solid. A 1-1. Whoa, and it's 2-1.
We got some fans now starting to exit, ones who are not sitting under the grandstand. This rain really starting to come down now. And lucky that it held off until now, as now we can see why the post-game fireworks were canceled, and definitely a good decision. Or actually, sorry, not canceled, but postponed.
Foul back on the ground of the screen, 2-2. Campbell just trying to get his first out here. In the bottom of the 6th, North Adams trying to add to his 6-4 lead before the SwampBats' final chance at bat. Tackett, the runner at second, he walked. Reinisch, the runner at first, he was hit by a pitch. Campbell's 2-2. Hit him. It hit him on the back. And the bases are loaded.
It's just not what you want to do here. If you're Campbell, walk and then hit 2 straight batters, loads the bases, and your goal in this situation, just try and keep this game close, keep it where it is, 2-run ball game, and give your offense a chance, but now with no outs. It's just insurance runs for the SteepleCats is the goal.
Hunter Cooley will come out. The good news for the SwampBats is a lefty coming up, Aiden Stewart, but he's walked twice and scored twice in this ball game. SteepleCats have scored 6 runs at him, and 5 of those reached on a walk. So if you need any evidence for why walks are not good if you're trying to win baseball games as a pitching staff, there you go.
And the 1 run that did not score via the walk, home run.
Yeah. Could have been a solo shot, but 2 walks made it a 3-run home run. 4 runs on 6 hits for the SwampBats. 6 runs on 6 hits for the SteepleCats. Campbell has hit the last 2 after he walked the leadoff man. SwampBats bring the infields in. They've really got no choice. Infield's in. They bring the outfield in as well. Have to keep this a 2-run ball game.
Maybe some sort of issue now on the left field line as the umpires now talking to the SteepleCats bullpen, and Ryan Abel talking to his bullpen, and like someone down the third base line. Not sure what's going on here. This game now extending.
Infield's in, the outfield's in. The SwampBats desperate to keep it a 2-run game. Aiden Stewart, the batter. First pitch. Fastball in there. Strike 1 called. Tackett at third. Reinisch at second. Polk at first. With nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Campbell set. 0-1. On the ground, Campbell dives and he's got it. Flips home for 1 out, and that's all the SwampBats will get. An athletic play off the pitcher's mound, though, from Caden Campbell to dive and get it, because if that goes past him, Mumal probably doesn't have a play at home.
No, absolutely not. Really good play there to save a run. And now you give yourself a chance to get out of this with a double play. Right now it looks like the whole infield is in. But I got to imagine the middle infielder is going to move back, and now they will to try and force a double play.
Gunnar Johnson at the plate, left fielder, but he's a catcher by trade, so figure he could be doubled up on a ground ball up the middle. Horton in at first, Goforth in at third, Padilla and Mumar back up the middle, the outfield straight away. Left on right, first pitch is lifted towards second base, caught by Brian Padilla, 2 outs. A little looper off the bat of Johnson, and now there's 2 outs. The base is still loaded.
That potentially could have been a double play, but good heads-up base running there by all the SteepleCats to make sure they got right back to the bag and didn't give a chance to get the double play on a pop-out or a line-out.
It'll be up to Chad Bourne to cash in. He's walked twice and scored twice, 0 for 1. Another right-hand hitter against Campbell. The pitch, foul back, 0-1. Again, it'll be Mumaw, Taylor, and Horton, top of the order for the SwampBats, at the top of the 7th. Trying to get there down just 6-4. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th.
If you're the SteepleCats, you got to bring in runs here. Bases loaded, no outs.
Certainly, if the SwampBats are able to make a comeback, you'll look at this. There's a huge missed opportunity from the visitors' perspective. Swing and a miss there, and it's 0-2. Got to credit Campbell for maintaining his focus. You know, gave up the go-ahead bomb at the bottom of the 5th, a walk, a hit by pitch, another hit by pitch. But he stayed focused. He's made a nice play off the mound. He got the 2nd out. Now he's ahead 0-2 on board, trying to keep the bats in the game. The 0-2. Inside, nearly hit him. 1-2.
And Bourne had to lean out of the way to avoid getting hit by that one. Watch out.
Reinish the runner at third, Polk the runner at second, Stewart the runner at first with 2 outs. Caden looks in. Shakes off his catcher, Jackson Owen. Brings the hands together. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. The first strikeout for Caden Campbell. He works out of a bases loaded, no out sham to give the SwampBats a chance. No runs, no hits, no errors. The bases left loaded. Last chance saloon for the SwampBats coming up in the 7th. After 6, it's 6-4 North Adams. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
Will Tobin for the SteepleCats. He's thrown 2 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball so far. He's in line to be the winning pitcher for the first time this season. a lefty out of the University of Pennsylvania. It's going to be the top of the SwampBats order against him as the SteepleCats lead Keene 6-4 at the top of the 7th inning. Mumaw, Taylor, and Horton due up. 3 lefties in a row against the lefty, Will Tobin.
I mean, man, it would be one heck of a performance here from Will Tobin if he could close it out. 3 2/3 innings. He's already over 50 pitches, and a true reliever, too, at that.
He came in with his team down 4-1 in the fourth inning with 2 outs and a runner at second base. He's recorded 7 outs. His team now leads 6-4, and he needs 3 more. Jake Mumaw's 1 for 3, a single, a strikeout, and a pop out. 3 left-on-left matchups here for Tobin. Ball 1, breaking ball low. Tobin has walked 2, struck out 3. He hasn't given up a hit. He's faced 9 batters. The 1-0 to Mumaw. Caught out and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Your head's in the trees, you can't hit it, buddy. Underwater.
There's some nice chirps from the SteepleCats dugout after that pitch.
Good pitch, Tobin.
Ready at the belt. Always works for the stretch. The 1-1. Breaking ball low and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
It's one of the things you like to see in summer ball. It's, you know, players having fun.
Keeping it loose.
Absolutely. The umpires don't love it, I'll say that, but
they want to keep
players
things from getting out of hand.
The players all know it's fun. The players all know each team wants to have fun, and they would do the exact same thing if they were on the winning side.
Foul back at a 2-1 pitch. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. SwampBats dugout is standing up. I'm assuming the North Adams dugout is doing the same right below us. Mumaw trying to get on base, bring David Taylor up as the potential tying run. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Mumaw not happy about it. A very close pitch on a breaking ball. Mumaw thought it should have been ball 3, but it's the 4th strikeout for Tobin.
Yeah, really, really close, and if you're Tobin, you're not going to complain at all. By the way, the rain has worsened by a lot. It can be a little bit hard to tell from our vantage point, so I took a little step outside. It is pouring. It's not just coming down anymore. It's really pouring, and that maybe could have an impact.
Devin Taylor lines it into left field, a base hit. Taylor's 3rd hit of the ball game, and it'll bring the tying run to bat with 1 out in the 7th. SwampBats down to their last 2 outs. And the batter will be Braden Horton, but instead the SwampBats are going to bring up a pitch hitter. It's Garrett Rice.
And man, what a big spot.
The reason for the pitch hitter is simple. It's the matchup. It's the right on left.
And what a big spot this is, and that rain, I think, definitely making an impact as you see Tobin go down to the rosin and just try and get some grip here as it's pouring.
Garrett Rice pitch hitting for Braden Horton to give Sean McKenna the favorable right on left matchup with Tobin the pitcher.
Ryan Abel will now head out onto the mound, and I think that could be it for Will Tobin.
It is.
What an outing this was for him.
He leaves in line for the win. Rice has already been announced as the pitch hitter, so I don't think Sean McKenna can backtrack and send up Braden Horton again instead.
No, you can't. They've already made the decision, and it's going to be the right-hander, Trent Hodgson, who comes into pitch.
So Tobin's on after 2 2/3. And if Hodgson could close it out, he'd be the winning pitcher. 1 on, 1 out, top of the 7th at last. It's 6-4 SteepleCats. This is Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 and the NECBL network.
said, watch me do my shake, shake. Woo! Watch me do my thing. I said, watch me do my shake, shake.
SwampBats don't want this game to be called. They're still in with a fighting chance. At the top of the 7th inning with 1 out and 1 out, the batter will be Garrett Rice. Pitch hitting for Braden Horton in order to force the hand of Ryan Abel to make the pitching change. He's brought in Trent Hodgson.
Trent Hodgson, an absolute monster on the mound. 16 strikeouts in 8 1/3. His ERA won't show it at 9.72, but he has one of the best fastballs. Combine that with some nasty off-speed, and he can be one of the best pitchers and most dominant pitchers in the entirety of the New England League when he has his A game. The question for him is always the control, though.
1 on, 1 out, top of the last. Garrett Rice swings and misses at a breaking ball below the zone. He's been known to have a clutch hit or two this season.
And there's that nasty off-speed.
He had a go-ahead home run to the top of the 7th in Martha's Vineyard to win 6-5 on Thursday. Behind 0-1 here. The pitch, taken, strike. Close pitch on the outside corner. The SwampBats aren't getting a lot of help here from the umpire. At the top of the 7th inning. Rumal was called out on the close pitch, and that at 94 there from Hodgson. 0-2 to Garrett Rice. The pitch, way up and in. It goes to the backstop. That won't matter too much. Taylor goes up to second. That takes a double play out of the equation on the wild pitch. It's a 1-2 count on Garrett Rice, who's still the tying run.
And Taylor can score, and the SteepleCats couldn't care less about that. It's the guy at the plate here. It's that tying run that really matters. The one thing that does get rid of the double play, as you said, but in this weather, in this rain, I don't think you're turning two. It's too slippery, I think, to make that exchange, because it is pouring out.
It sure is.
It's going to continue throughout the night. If not, I think we go into a delay.
The 1-2. Breaking ball upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Garrett Rice with Jordan Smith due on deck.
It's not going to be easy to throw those breaking balls because you can have it slip. As you're trying to flick the wrist, it can just kind of slip out of your hands.
If the
it's
game
pouring.
were to be called to this one, it'd be a win for North Adams. 2-2. Tipped, held on to by Polk, strike 3. And the SwampBats are down to their final out.
Trent Hodgson is a bad, bad man out there on the mound. Now
93 on the fastball there.
Stomping his feet to try and get some of the now wet dirt out of his cleats, but like I said, he's got some of the best stuff, one of the most electric fastballs in this league. His fastball is really kind of almost big league quality at this point, and he's still pretty young. I think just 20 years old.
Jordan Smith, the last hope for the SwampBats. Down 6-4 with Taylor at second. Ball 1 way upstairs. Matt Brown Earring is due on deck, followed by Jackson Owen. The SwampBats could keep it going.
Definitely not an effortless 93, too. Hodgson's put in everything, every ounce of his body into every pitch.
The righty sets. 1-0. Way upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. He's looking at Taylor. Not sure why he'd really be doing that. He's got to focus on the hitter here.
Yeah, you hear a shout from the SteepleCats dugout. Don't worry about that runner on second. He doesn't matter.
Now that the double play is not in order, you really could care less about the runner at second base, Devin Taylor.
With 2 outs, too. That double plays out of order.
They're not even holding him on. Smith, an aggressive hitter, the 2-0. Swing and a miss. That one was up in the zone. Not a bad pitch to swing at on 2-0. But it's strike one.
And after every single pitch, Hodgson kicking his feet, trying to get the dirt out. And his fastball velocity has taken a bit of a hit. That last one at 90. You wonder if maybe this rain has anything to do with it. If he's just trying to throw strikes at this point.
2-1 from Hodgson. Outside, 3 balls and a strike.
And I'll say this game is not going into extra innings. I think we're ending in a tie if Keene ties this game up, because with this rain, I don't think you can play any more baseball after this rain, because it's bad and it's not going to get any better.
I think it would be pretty difficult. A 3-1 taken. Strike called. It's 3-2. The SwampBats have not been happy with Alan Libardoni in this 7th inning.
They're definitely a little bit outside. Maybe Libardoni wants to get out of here because everyone's getting wet out there right now.
Yeah, that could easily have been ball 4. But instead, the SwampBats are down to their final strike. Let's try to make some noise in the pouring rain. 3-2 to Jordan Smith. The pitch, down and away, ball 4. Tying man aboard for the SwampBats at the top of the 7th.
It doesn't feel like it, but that's a good thing to remember. This is the top of the 7th. Even though this game being played in Keene, you can't walk off. I think we just heard some murmurs of if there's a home run here, Keene takes the lead. Could they call it then? I mean, I don't think North Adams would be very happy with that. But
well, you wouldn't if you if you called it then the SteepleCats would win.
No, if they hit the home run.
The SteepleCats would still win the game. It reverts back to the last completed inning.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
The pitch to Matt Brown Earring. Breaking ball, strike, 0-1.
Yes,
yeah, if the SwampBats tie or take the lead, for this 7th inning to count, we have to play the top of the bottom half.
Which we're not playing the bottom half, I don't think. I mean, we're starting to see a little bit of puddling. If you can see, for those of you watching on the NECBL network, towards where the second baseman is, it is completely wet. The baselines right now are soaked. We shouldn't be playing baseball right now, but in this moment, you can't call it. That's the thing.
Check swing. And a foul down toward the first base coach, Casey O'Brien. And the SwampBats are down to their final strike.
You can't call a game in this situation, but also baseball is not meant to be played in this weather. So it's a bad spot for everyone. I don't know what you're supposed to do if you're the umpire, because this is a rough spot. Hodgson just wants to end it here.
Could be a strike away from ending it. Time is called. Still pouring rain here at Alumni Field. 6-4 SteepleCats, top of the 7th and last. 0-2, 2 on, 2 out. The pitch, taken outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And up 0-2, you can, afford a pitch like that. Just try and get a swing and a miss, and there's that velocity back from Hodgson, 94 after dropping down towards 90 for a bit.
If you're Matt Brown Earring, in the back of your mind, you've got to consider that there have been 3 very borderline strike calls in this half inning.
Got to swing.
The 1-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. Matt Brown Earring is not happy with the call from Alan Libardoni. Another borderline call. And that will end this game, a 6-4 win for the North Adams SteepleCats. They improved to 6-15. The SwampBats dropped to 7-16. And the 7th inning for Keene, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Final score, North Adams 6, Keene 4. The post-game show is next. This is Keene SwampBats Baseball on Pure Oldies 104.1 at the NECBL Network. Show here at Alumni Fields in Keene. Thanks so much to Adam Gotkin for calling the doubleheader with me. I'm Jonah White. As they put the tarp out on the field, the SwampBats and the SteepleCats split the doubleheader. They win the first game 9-4 due to the SwampBats. SteepleCats take game 2 by a final score of 6-4. Here's how it happened. Jake Mumaw single to start the game off Nick Ferretic. Evan Taylor had a 2-run home run to give the SwampBats an early 2-0 lead. North Adams got a run back in the bottom of the second inning on an RBI single by Jack Reynolds. He was not done with his impact on the day. Top of the fourth inning, Tony Livermore had a 2-run double to the left center field gap to score Matt Brown Earring and Jackson Owen. SwampBats up 4-1 at the time. That knocked Nick Ferretic out of the game, but Will Tobin came in, got the final out before Tyler Tornberg ran into trouble, allowing 3 walks at the bottom of the fourth and only recording 1 out. Kyle Hannon hit a 2-run double into the right center field gap to make it 4-3, but then Dan Brown got the final 2 outs. Brown got into trouble, allowing a couple of walks, but getting the first 2 outs at the bottom of the fifth with a 4-3 lead. Caden Campbell came in, a left-on-left matchup with Jack Reynolds, but Reynolds took a 1-2 pitch and drilled it over the fence in center field. A home run to put North Adams ahead 6-4. SwampBats could not score at the top of the sixth. They had first and second with 2 outs at the top of the seventh in the pouring rain, but could not come back. They had a couple of close borderline strike 3 calls at that top of the seventh inning as well, but they lose the second game by a final score of 6-4. So the SwampBats are 7-16. The SteepleCats are 6-15. SwampBats do win the season series against North Adams by 2-1, but certainly a missed opportunity for the SwampBats. Up 4-1 in the middle of the fourth inning in this game. They could not hang on to get the doubleheader sweep. Out of town scores from tonight's games: Martha's Vineyard and Newport rained out. Mystic beat Ocean State 5-2. Upper Valley beat Vermont 9-3. Sanford beat North Shore 6-5 in 11 innings. Valley beat Danbury 2-0. The final in Valley. Our next broadcast will be at Danbury. Tomorrow the SwampBats will take on the Westerners, the only team they haven't played yet this season. That'll be in Danbury for baseball on the 4th of July. I'll have that for you at 6:20 p.m. Tough loss in Game 2 for the SwampBats after an encouraging offensive outburst in the opener, but they dropped the nightcap here by a final score of 6-4. Time for the final totals in Game 2. For the SwampBats, 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 7 men left on base. For the SteepleCats, 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 10 men left on base. The winning pitcher was Will Tobin. He improves to 1-0. Dan Brown gets the loss. He drops to 0-2. And the save for Trent Hodgden. And for Hodgden, that is save number 1 on the season. Attendance 2,050 people, even with the weather. Very good crowd for this one. Time of the game, 2 hours and 51 minutes. For producer Ryan Hearn, director Steve Pierce, our camera crew here at Alumni Fields, and back in the studio for Pure Oldies 1041, Sean Sanborn and Adam Gotkin, I am Jonah White saying so long from rainy, wet Alumni Field tonight. SwampBats win the first game 9-4, but they drop the nightcap 6-4 against the North Adams SteepleCats. This has been Keene SwampBats baseball on Pure Oldies 1041 and the NECBL Broadcast Network.
You have been watching a presentation of the Keene SwampBats on the NECBL Network. You can follow us on Facebook at Keene SwampBats, Twitter and Instagram at SwampBats_Keene, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at SwampBats. Please tune in to our next broadcast